This episode is brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends. Download now.
We're not officially sponsored yet.
What is Raid Shadow Legends?
Raid Shadow Legends?
You don't know what
Rage?
Raid.
Shadow Legends.
What's Raid Shadow Legends?
You know what Raid Shadow Legends is?
No.
Oh man, do we have? Are you in for a treat? It's a mobile game where I guess
Did you get an email about it?
No.
Are we finally getting sponsored?
Are we really starting with this? No one knows who we are.
No, it's not Raid Shadow Legends. All right.
Say who you are.
I'm Jason.
What episode number is this?
This is episode 220. I'm Jason.
I'm Angel.
I'm Kevin.
And welcome to the podcast. We usually say hello and welcome, but we're not. No, this
We're
episode,
not sponsored, unfortunately.
We're not.
No,
do we get any kickback for saying that?
I don't think Jason allows us to be sponsored.
I don't have the final say in it. I guess I do. It's all my money going to hosting this thing.
Anyway, so this episode is called DLC You Soon because we have a lot of DLC coming up. That's pretty exciting.
It's funny.
But it's not coming up yet.
It's coming up soon.
Yeah.
But what's funny is this episode itself almost weirdly is kind of like DLC because last episode are like, oh, here's the big new stuff in 2020, and then this episode's the amendment of that. Like, also here's the expansions on the things you already know about. So they kind of pair well.
That's true. Are we more like DLC or like this is like literally 134 sequels?
I like to think of myself as the horse armor from Oblivion.
Kevin is definitely more.
Have you taken an arrow to the knee at any point in time?
No.
But yeah, we will this episode be talking about Smash Bros. Final Volume 1 Fighter Pass character from this past Thursday. We'll be talking about Pokemon Sword and Shield's expansion pass news. We have some first details, official this time details on Super Nintendo World, and other stuff like impressions of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon for Switch, the remake.
Oh, yeah.
Some December sales numbers, impressions of EarthNight. Angel's doing Mario Kart 8's online tournament this weekend, which I think is the first time they've done this. I'm not sure, though. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff in this episode.
I have a few constructive criticisms.
That's a gentle way of putting it. But, anyone who's listened knows there's timestamps for Hamtown.com. There's on the blog post, there's timestamps under this if you're listening on YouTube. And if you really want to jump to Angel's constructive criticism, which I think is just going to be 5 minutes of bleeping him out, you can do so through those timestamps.
No.
But okay. Well, actually, speaking of things that you cursed out, you had a very visceral reaction. What are we looking for?
I'm looking for the pretzels.
They're not over there. I brought these guys dark chocolate pretzels from Trader Joe's as a treat, and they want to eat them during the recording, but I got your guys' ears at heart here, so I'm not letting it happen. But no, you had a very visceral. This is the weirdest intro we've ever done on this show. You had a very visceral response to the big news that came out this past Thursday, which a lot of folks didn't seem thrilled about. Real quick, just so people know what I'm talking about, it's the reveal that on January 28th, Byleth, the protagonist of Fire Emblem Three Houses, will release as the 5th and final fighter of the first fighter pass in Smash Bros. Ultimate. So we talked on the phone that night, and you just shouted at me through the phone. And I did decide to put him in the game. But I would like you to, maybe expand on why you feel that way. And Kevin, I don't know what your thoughts are on all these Fire Emblem characters, but if you guys want to sort of...
Well, I mean, my thoughts were definitely, exaggerated a little for showmanship. But,
sure.
Essentially, we've had Joker, Banjo, Hero, Terry in that order. Did I actually get the order right?
No,
he did. No, you didn't. Joker, Hero, Banjo. Yeah, he did.
Well, I guess
Joker, Banjo.
Yeah,
Hero,
Boker. Joker, Hero, Banjo, Terry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So with the exception of Banjo, none of them are characters that I necessarily have an attachment to, but they were all exciting to hear about because they're just things I didn't expect. And even now, there wasn't any character I necessarily wanted in the game because, we already got everything I wanted. I already got my Ridley, my King K. Rool, Bowser a long time ago. Everything is already, I felt like anything could be great, and I was still disappointed. Because, as most people know, there's 8.
There's 9.
There's now 9. That's true, because Byleth comes in male and female varieties, so...
No,
or do you
I
mean
think
there's
there's 9, yeah.
9?
Yeah.
They might as well just make a Fire Emblem fighting game at this point. Why
that's
even
what
have
this
it be
is
Smash
at this
Bros?
I mean, it's Martha, Cena, Roy,
here we go.
Ike, Robin, Chrom...
Corrin.
I think it said Corrin.
No.
Corrin,
I think it's 8.
Byleth.
I think it's 8.
Yeah, I think it's 8. 8 or 7.
Just wait till about a year from now and you'll get 9. I mean, listen, there are 3 houses in Fire Emblem 3 houses. They've only done the professor of the 3 houses. They still have 3 more characters, 1 per house. That's half of Fighter Pass 2 right there. The new DLC for 3 houses has a 4th house.
How many Pokemon are there?
900 million. Oh, you mean in the game?
In Smash?
I thought you meant in the world.
Well, I mean, I guess there's like 9 if you like expand out Pokemon Trainer.
No, Pokemon Trainer's 1.
I feel like a Gen 8 Pokemon's gotta be in the next patch.
There's like 5 or 6. There's like 6 or 7.
Okay, so there's more Fire Emblem.
There's more Fire Emblem.
Which is weird because there's more bigger Pokemon.
There's more Fire Emblem now than almost every franchise except maybe the Mario one. But I guess if you want to get technical, there's like way less characters with the little mushroom logo because Yoshi is his own thing.
Yeah.
Wario is his own thing.
Donkey Kong is his own thing.
Well, I don't even count Donkey Kong.
Oh, well, Mario Party sure does. So, Donkey Kong's his own thing.
Yeah, but I mean, anyway.
Yeah, Diddy Kong's his own.
Yeah, the point is, like, I was just disappointed. I mean, he looks like a fun character, but, like, literally a couple seconds in, as soon as, like, the art style set in, I was like, damn it, like, audibly out loud. It's like,
Told you to be swearing this episode.
And
did you wake up at 6 in the morning for this?
I normally wake up at like 6 anyway.
So yes, sort of.
So I was already up regardless. So it was kind of a nice way to wake.
That's a nice way to wake up. It certainly woke you up. I'm sure.
I think that's the worst part. Like, I mean, sure, like it was a great selling game and people love it. So I'm sure a lot of people were excited about it. But the thing is, like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to be salty about the announcement, but at the same time, like, these announcements are supposed to be exciting. Like, I mean,
I've never seen somebody turn on an announcement so fast than this, where everyone was really excited for the 5th character.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, all that excitement deflated.
I know. Could we
I
be
think
fair?
honestly, they could have shuffled the order and it would have been better.
It would have been fine. It's because he's the final.
Yeah,
one.
like
That's
Terry could have been the last one, and I would have been like, oh,
at least it's
Terry?
kind of cool.
Like, all right, that's different.
Yeah.
We got Metal Slug music. I mean, honestly, I was way more excited about the Mii costumes. I think most people were.
Yeah, Cuphead.
But and even like to kind of drill in, like a lot of people, like I was like literally the day before I was talking to my brother and I said, like, I really hope they don't put a Fire Emblem character. Like, one of my gut feelings was that we'd get a Fire Emblem character, and sure enough, that's what we got.
And cut to Sakurai in an office somewhere rubbing his hands together like, oh, just you.
But I wasn't the only one, honestly. Like, there were some other people that threw around, like, oh, if they do put a Fire Emblem character, they want, like, this one girl from the Red House. I don't know what the Red House is called, but she has, like, an axe or something.
I don't own 3 houses, so I don't either.
Because, Red Barracudas.
Because a lot of people were saying, like, oh, if we put...
from Legends of the Hidden
Temple? Because if they put a character from 3 houses, they're obviously going to put the main character, which is blue-haired swordsman, which we have like 3-4 of them now.
Yes, the fact that we specifically have so many blue-haired anime swordsmen from Fire Emblem.
My bad.
Yeah. But let's actually be fair for a sec. Like, it almost feels like...
No! I want to be fair.
I don't want to be fair. No, but I was going to say, honestly, it almost feels like we have to
take
separate...
that moveset and they could have just put Monster Hunter in it, and that would have worked out.
Say. Yeah.
Because he has arrows, or because you can have male and female also. They have the heavy sword, which literally does the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Tank and a big attack. I mean... It would have been really cool, and everyone would have been like, at least have something different.
And what's crazy about that is like Dragalia Lost is able to do a better Monster Hunter collaboration than Smash Bros. Like, yeah, you're right. He should be a character. Dragalia Lost, they're doing a whole thing where Monster Hunter's integrating in Foley and da-da-da. And yeah, I know Smash Bros has the Rathios or whatever in it, but Rathalos shows how much I play. But like, if Dragalia could do a better collab, why can't they replace Byleth with a Monster Hunter guy? I don't get it. But I did want to say, I feel like...
I mean, if not now, when, I guess, like...
Well, there's 6 more fighters.
I mean, I mean, like, and like, in the back of my head, like, I knew for... It was just, like, engraved in my head, like, oh, I know for a fact it's just a matter of time before we get a 3 Houses character.
Yeah.
That was just, like, my thinking.
Well,
I just didn't want it to be this last one.
Smash Bros. Has had a new Fire Emblem character, including the DLC for 4. So, like, it was written in the stones or whatever.
And we got that right before Birthright and Conquest came out, which is like even weird because like, who's Corrin? I mean, like, most people know, but like, if you're not really keeping up with the games that are not out yet.
Yeah, like at least this time around is the protagonist of 3 Houses, to be fair.
And it's been out for a few months, so
yeah. And like, I mean, like, I get why they did it. Like, I think we kind of all get it. I mean, Fire Emblem
girl in his head the whole time.
I don't know. Let's not spoil the game or guess what the spoilers are. But
I mean, also, by the way, Sakura was talking about those 3 people with the green hair. I'm guessing all 3 of them fused to turn into that one girl.
Why do you keep trying to spoil this for people?
I've never played it. I'm just speculating.
Yeah. No, but what I was going to say is I think on some level, you sort of touched on it. I think we do all get why he's there. Like, Fire Emblem's a huge franchise for Nintendo. They have the history. Like, if you go back and watch, like, when they first announced the Fire Pass...
Can you explain the history of Fire Emblem? Like, we never heard of a Fire Emblem character.
Well, can we talk about how he counted in binary on one hand? Like, say what you will...
That was more exciting than...
Say what you will about Byleth. Like, I learned how to count in binary, kind of not really. Like, that was very, actually, interesting.
Go
But I'm not gonna. I didn't learn it properly. But no, what I was gonna say is like we shouldn't be so surprised that he popped up because like what I was trying to say is at the Game Awards 2018 when Reggie Gonstage Joker was revealed, and I was waiting for you to say it. And he said like it's full. This Fire Pass is full of surprises. It won't all be collaborations. It won't all be our own characters. You never know. But it's gonna be a celebration of gaming. So like Nintendo wasn't like misleading anyone. And I mean, next month in February there is that fourth Fire Emblem Three Houses DLC coming out. So like marketing wise, this is a good time for that. I mean, the DLC actually sounds legitimately cool. Even as someone that doesn't know too much about Fire Emblem, like up to this point, all the DLC for Three Houses was just new characters, items, costumes. But this one, they're actually adding like a whole new story. It's called like Cinder Shadows or something like that. And there's going to be new characters introduced through that. It's going to be a fourth house, which you can then take those characters from that fourth house and integrate into the main story and those three houses, meaning you basically have opened up a ton of new options of how the story...
Turn their back on them, so they turn their back on them.
Sure,
Didn't you see the trailer? That's what they say.
Oh, yeah, you're right, yeah. But, yeah, it's cool because, like, it's a very Fire Emblem way of doing a DLC pack where it's like actually expanding all the options all the routes you can take.
I mean, isn't it basically like the what Awakening did? No,
it is.
No, it's like Conquest and Birthright. There was a third one.
No, Birthright is the third.
Revelation.
Oh, Revelation.
Yeah, that's
it's the equivalent of that. Yeah, but it's just cool that like Nintendo's kind of doing it. So I get why they put it here now. And similarly, like Tokyo Mirage Sessions, which is part Fire Emblem, just came out
Joker in
on
it.
Friday. It has Joker in it. And I'm waiting for Kevin to comment on Joker here. But anyway, my point is like, imagine how many people the day before Tokyo Mirage Sessions comes out are now Googling Fire Emblem to learn more about this character, and then boom, Tokyo Mirage Sessions keeps popping up. It's good marketing for Nintendo. So I get why they did it now on some level, but like, yeah, it's just a bummer. Yeah, I think it's not a bummer in a strong sense, but having him be the finale.
It's just disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, it was bad enough that like...
I mean, for all I know, I might end up loving this character mechanically and I'll just be playing them a lot. But
even before we get to that, just like
disappointing.
The palpable like drop in excitement, like when you're saying kind of like it deflated.
So many people thought like, oh, it's going to be Dante this, Dante that, because of all this...
Well, we'll get to Dante in a sec.
Because where did that come from?
We'll get to that in one sec. No, there's a backstory. We'll get to that in one sec. But I was going to say to the point of deflating...
Which I'm kind of glad it's not. Cause,
yeah, hang on. I was going to say to the point of deflating hype, you know how bad the deflated hype was? I just wanted to throw this in there because I can't believe this actually happened.
Put out a video saying, wow, you guys, wow.
The Washington Post, on their Twitter and on their newspaper, like on their website, put the headline of Smash fans watched a 38-minute Nintendo Direct and all they got was another Fire Emblem character. The largest newspaper in the country did a story about this and tweeted, not from their video game Twitter, the official one. This is up there like when they did the Waluigi thing. And it at E3 a couple years ago where they're basically like Waluigi's being ignored by Nintendo. It was a whole cover story. But and then like
someone's obviously a big fan of Nintendo.
Clearly. And similarly, like I watched the Nintendo New York presentation where all the fans freak out about stuff. And, he first comes on screen and they're like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then they're like, Byleth joins the battle. And there's like 3 claps.
Yeah, there were some
Cuphead got a much bigger reaction.
There were some people that were like, oh, this is a fake out. Like, it's going to start as Fire Emblem and then...
exactly. Yeah, and like, honestly, you were right. I think the Mii fighters like Cuphead are way more interesting.
And I was even holding out for that, too, because I remember when they first announced, like, Lucina and... Oh, I guess it was just Lucina. I forgot who else.
Chrom? Wasn't Lucina and Chrom?
No. In Smash 4, because Chrom was a
Robin, not Lucina. Lucina's been there since Brawl.
Oh no, Lucina hasn't been there since Brawl.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they added Robin and Corrin in the next one. Wait, am I wrong?
Yes.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are completely. Wow.
Maybe you're right.
Anyway, the trailer was for.
He's so shocked I got this wrong.
Yeah, so the trailer starts with like Chrom getting beat up by Captain Falcon. And first you're like, oh, it's a Fire Emblem trailer, but like, whoa, Captain Falcon's here. And then Lucina comes in and fights, and then she gets beat up, and then Robin comes in to save the day. Because time to tip the scales and all that. So,
you're right, she came in 4. My apologies to all the listeners out there. How dare I?
Yeah, so I thought like that one that kind of had Captain Falcon in the Fire Emblem world for some reason. I thought like, oh, maybe someone is going to come in and...
Or they'll do some other anime character, like Goku. But, people would have lost their minds if they actually followed through on that. I wouldn't want it at all, but imagine the reactions. But no, I do think to your point, like Cuphead was way more interesting. Like the Mii fighters are honestly the best part of Smash these days.
The Mii gonna really suits Cuphead.
Yeah, and I think what's great about it is because they require significantly less investment and thought, since they're like different skins mapped to 3 preset fighters. Like, they can get way more creative with the collaborations and happy stuff that wouldn't actually make sense otherwise. I mean, Assassin's Creed, Battle Network's Mega Man, Cuphead, the Rabbids.
There's also kind of just
great. Like... The Assassin's Creed one's honestly a little bit weird because they went with the Altair costume.
Yes.
And not the Ezio costume, which... Is the Ezio trilogy on Switch?
I believe.
Yeah, I don't think
that's the one with like Revelations and 3 and all that, right?
Yeah.
No, so that's...
never mind. Well, that's the one.
2 Brotherhood, Revelations.
That's on Switch.
The one with 3 is... That assassin's name is Connor.
Oh, you're right. That's the Native American.
Whatever one is Revelations is on Switch.
Okay, so yeah, but like... As far as I can tell, the first game hasn't been remastered or remade for this current gen of consoles completely.
It hasn't.
Like, I don't think you can get it on PS4.
No, I think you're right.
Also, could they not
it's
put
weird
Assassin's
that they
Creed
put...
because of the word assassin or something?
I'm guessing they didn't because all of them were the character names. If you think about it. The Rabbids were Rabbids.
No.
Mega Man...
His name isn't Mega Man Battle Network.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know why they did that. That's actually
I mean, every time up to then, they just
put
the name of the game.
And it's funny because they did such a good job with all the fans there. It's like he lands on a pile of hay, just like in the game. The Rabbids recreate the Mario and Rabbids recreated Mario and Rabbids, which sounds redundant, but it's actually a proper sentence if you think it through. Yeah, like they did all that and then they couldn't do the logo. You're right. That's kind of weird.
I think my biggest gripe with Smash Brothers in general up to this point is the fact that like they could give costumes to these characters, but why can't like literally any other fighting game that like just provide additional costumes for other characters, even if like they don't have to all have a bonus costume either. Like Chun-Li, I believe, has like over 30 costumes in Street Fighter 5, while like there are other characters that only have.
So you're saying why the artificial 8 limit?
Yeah, it's like why can't we have like Dry Bowser or like just like spice things up with like other characters that people have come up with so many, like give us Blood Falcon
well, are those different costumes for Chun-Li or are they palette swaps?
No, they're full on costumes.
Full on.
So
yeah, so like sometimes like
palette swaps.
They'll completely like change the characters. Like they'll give her like a cop outfit or like Halloween costumes or like a bunch of stuff that makes them look sometimes like a completely different character. Maybe their last batch literally made some characters look pretty much straight up like Darkstalker characters.
Maybe it's coming in. Maybe it's coming in past 2. They need to have something new besides characters. I mean, they don't, but they could.
I mean, if they do,
I doubt it.
That would I feel like would be worth like nickel and diming because then I could get some for the characters I care about using.
Right.
Like
the Mii-Fire part. Okay, so I sort of shut down the conversation about Dante because I wanted to finish the other point. But Dante, so that rumor. First of all, you said you were happy it wasn't him. Why? Do you just not care about Dante?
Would you rather have Dante or Byleth?
Yeah,
Byleth.
Interesting. Why is that?
Because of Dante's potential toolkit, it would just be the most like annoying thing to play against.
It would be very Bayonetta-esque. I feel like
it would be like a cross between Bayonetta and Joker.
Yeah,
because. Like Joker, he also has like a powered
awesome characters. I'm not seeing the downside here.
You're like, where's the problem?
Because like Joker, he has like a powered up mode. It's like his double trigger mode, and he also
Excuse me, it's his persona.
No, I'm talking about Dante.
No, I know,
but yeah, and yeah, I mean he fights with a gun, so he has like he has like a ton of projectiles. Yeah. He's annoying as heck in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and I feel like we just don't need that right now in Smash Brothers.
It could have been worse than Dante. Like, what if it was Ninja? Like, not a ninja, like the guy Ninja, the streamer Ninja. Because Fortnite just added Ninja the other day, which kind of makes sense for Fortnite, honestly.
Different, they're just skins.
But, yeah,
they don't affect the gameplay.
That's
whatsoever.
true, but yeah, did you guys hear about how like Fortnite is now putting the people that play the game in the game?
I mean,
I think they're calling it their Icon series.
They are.
Yeah.
It's interesting because like,
I mean, they got to do something.
Well, I mean, the game's still doing fine. Its revenue's down a little, but it's doing fine.
I mean,
but
they got to do something.
I guess, but like. It is kind of interesting because I don't know if you guys remember at Game Awards, like, who was it? Who's the guy that runs Epic Soul? Dom Mustard? Something like that?
No.
It's not Mustard?
Oh, yeah, it was Mustard. It was Mustard.
Yeah, so he was making his comment about, like, the metaverse and how it's going to be a self-contained world, and it's just interesting to me that they're now like, oh, well, here's, like, the people from the real world, but now they're in the meta world, too. And that would make sense to me if they replicated Ninja as Ninja, or, like, how they did J.J. Abrams in Star Wars as J.J. Abrams, or how they did Marshmallow as Marshmallow for the concert. The part I don't understand is the fact that they're making these available for everyone to wear.
So I literally do not know who else they can put in that game.
They have 2 other streamers coming, and they're promising a collection. I don't remember their names. Other big Fortnite streamers. But they're promising a collection of streamers and entertainers. And I'm just like... Why not? Like, I understand.
Conan O'Brien.
Oh, I would totally be into that. Even though I'm saying it's a bad idea. But, like, I understand the idea of, like, they could have Ninja's, like, he has an Adidas line. So make that available in the game. Because these are only limited time. You have to buy them in, like, a 3-day window or something. And I get the exclusivity of that. But why would you all want to look like the exact same person running around? It doesn't make sense. If they're trying to, like, replicate the real world in a virtual world, why would everyone look like Ninja? It doesn't make sense.
I mean, so Ninja, specifically his brand, is, like, a ninja. Yeah. So, like... a generic ninja at that, like,
but it's not even that. It's his face on.
Yeah, but like there's multiple styles that you could put on, and there's
like,
a style where you
having
just look
Ray
like
available in a straight up Ray or Finn. I guess. Like, oh no, I guess like, we have a bunch of Rays running around.
Yeah, I guess it just struck me as
or a bunch of stormtroopers.
Yeah, a bunch of Daisy Ridleys and Adam Drivers just running around the place.
Yeah, I guess we put it that way. It's kind of weird.
No, there's no Adam Driver.
It just sounds like you have something against Ninja.
No, I don't understand why a game that's all about individuality and saying we're going to create a metaverse and everyone's going to be their own unique person. It's like, but you can all look exactly the same audience. At the same time.
I mean, at the same time, like,
we don't get
Ninja is sort of like helped this game blow up.
Yeah, no, like, I think it'd be awesome if Ninja got exclusive line of items you can get in the game, and they're all like his Ninja stuff, like his shoes with Adidas, his clothing line, like all that.
Well, there's also
is that in there too?
I don't think they do the piecemeal attire. I think they only do like full on costumes.
That'd be too difficult to implement at this point.
Never mind.
At this point, I think it's literally just like your skin, the backpack that you wear, and like the weapon that your pickaxe.
The backpack includes that pet thing.
Yeah, it has a pet. Yeah.
Like there's a couple of backpacks that have pets. Yeah.
But anyway, we still haven't gotten to Dante. So Dante, you asked why Dante. Right?
Yeah.
So the whole Dante saga is admittedly kind of a weird one. So basically, it stemmed out of the fact that Capcom teased that Devil May Cry news, specifically relating to the Switch version of Devil May Cry 3, would be on January 16th. They'd announced something. And that same day is, of course, when the Smash presentation was later announced. So Capcom was like, hey, we have news about Devil May Cry on Switch on January 16th. And then it sounds like we also have news about a game on Switch known for collaborations on January 16th. And people just ran with it and assumed.
Didn't Nintendo specifically say that this was a Smash?
They did, but what are the odds that Capcom's teasing a fun little surprise with Devil May Cry 3, and Nintendo, known for collaborations for Smash, is going, we're also doing news on January 16th, and it's going to be...
As much as I want...
I feel like that's a bit of a reach.
It is, I agree, and that's why it was so absurd, but that's what people were running with.
And as much as I want, like, Monster Hunter or Phoenix Wright, I'll just throw him in there, even though that will never happen because he's already been in Marvel vs. Capcom. I mean, that'd be 4 Capcom reps if he wasn't there. I don't think that matters much, but I don't know. No other third party has that many already.
Yeah, it's true, they don't. But like, it was weird that everyone ran with it, and then, of course... it didn't happen, so then it led to even more disappointment because people were expecting Dante.
Oh yeah, people were like full on like it's already kind of a given. It's like, all right,
which made no sense.
Where's the Dante reveal?
It was like it was one of those things that just it just picked up steam without really any weight behind it. It was just this weird coincidence. And what's funny is like it led to some really great memes and stuff. Like it's hard to explain meme with words, but
don't even try.
There's a great video where they edited.
I think it's safe to assume most people know what a meme is.
No. I was going to describe a specific one, but it's not worth it. But the flip side of this is that. It led to funny memes and some disappointment.
Like what?
Buried... I'm not going to bother. It buried some actually kind of neat news about Devil May Cry 3, which, while small, is like, if you're a fan of the game, it's actually kind of cool, because for the first time, Capcom's not doing a direct port of Devil May Cry to Switch.
Okay, so I'm actually... Because this for
Do you
the
think
DMC3
this is cool, what they're doing? Do you know what it is?
I don't know what it is.
So they are going to introduce a new style Switch mechanic that'll let you, on the fly, alternate between the initial 4 different battle modes and up to 6. So you don't have to go in and out.
Yeah, you don't have to go. Yeah, because the way that it worked in Devil May Cry 3 was you had to go into the menu and switch your style.
And now it's all going to be on the fly, meaning it's going to be more like a modern action game.
So it's more like Devil May Cry.
Right? But here's the thing. No one knows because everyone's like, why is Dante not in Smash? And Capcom totally lost the inertia of that.
I might actually pick this up.
Yeah, and it's actually pretty cool.
Well, make it the definitive version.
Yeah, it's going to be the definitive version. It's supposed I imagine it must really improve the flow of combat.
Yeah, because
it's pretty cool. Like, so have you played all the Devil May Cries, or?
I haven't played Devil May Cry 5. I've played...
Damn, I've heard so much good things about
that one. I've beaten 1,
so cool,
didn't beat 2, beat 3. Mm-hmm. I didn't beat 4, and I haven't played 5. I also didn't beat DMC Devil May Cry.
I think,
by Ninja Theory.
Depending on how this one reviews, and maybe Kevin, depending on your recommendations, I might finally get I might get this one and see what it's all about.
You're gonna get part 3?
Will I be horrible at it? Because I like
these games are hard.
Never mind.
Especially Devil May Cry 3 was notoriously
like how they compare like Bayonetta and like Astral Chain and those sorts of games.
It's definitely closer to Bayonetta.
Okay.
Definitely not. I mean, I haven't played Astral Chain, but
I mean, it's not like you were planning on beating it, right? You were just planning on like dipping your toes in.
Listen, we don't need to discuss my record of not.
I mean, for your purposes, you could get any game you want.
Maybe not.
How far?
There's no reason for you not. Yeah, there's no reason.
Because I think Devil May Cry.
Actually, Bayonetta 2, I did decently. I think I'd have to go look at my.
Because if I'm remembering correctly, Devil May Cry 3 was directed by Kamiya.
So same.
Yeah.
So. Well, either way, kind of cool. And like
Kamiya.
He also did Wonderful 101.
He did.
Actually, no.
Which they're trying desperately to get on Switch in some capacity. Most publishers are saying no because it didn't sell well on Wii U, but Platinum really wants to. Platinum actually could publish it themselves.
It was on Wii U.
Did you hear that Platinum? Yeah, that's basically the argument. It was on Wii U. It's not our fault. But Platinum just got a huge investment from Tencent, and it's to let them self-publish. And they're going to let Platinum run themselves. Oh. So, potentially, they could release it themselves.
Yeah, there's
on multiple platforms.
There's a lot of uproar about them.
Potentially.
A lot of people worry that Platinum was going to become part of this whole Tencent.
Which is like, that's the same Tencent that led to all of Activision Blizzard's woes, and like, because they're invested in them, but they also are invested in Epic, and there's no real issues with Epic and Fortnite.
I mean, a lot of people do have an issue with Epic being, with Tencent having a stake in Epic.
But I mean, there's not like political controversies yet.
Oh, in that regard, no. But I'm just talking about just in general. People do not like Tencent.
Yeah, they have their fingers in like every pie. I mean, even Nintendo in China, they're working with Tencent.
Yeah.
That's the appropriate response. Yeah. But I think like even if I don't know much about Devil May Cry, the thing that is cool to me about it and the fact that they're doing this is the first time that Capcom, who always seems to do the bare minimum with their Switch ports, is no longer doing the bare minimum with their Switch ports. Like 1 and 2 are as bare bones as you get. In fact, I think a few episodes ago we were complaining how why are they not bundled on Switch? They're selling them individually at a higher price. But like, if Capcom's now taking initiative, it must mean something is working right for them. Like, folks are buying the ports, and if you extrapolate the fact that they're buying these bare bones ports to the point that Capcom's even taking action, it kind of explains why some other third-party announcements are happening lately. I mean, the other day, Metro Redux was announced for Switch, and that's a bundle that includes both Metro 2033, yup, you have a funny look on your face, and Metro Last Light, and it's coming to Switch.
When was looking through the coming soon.
Yeah, it's coming to Switch
in
February.
I guess it just never hit me. Those are very demanding games.
Not only that, but you know what they're doing? They're taking a page from The Witcher 3. It will be all on one 32-gig cartridge, no download required, and it's coming next month, February 28th or so.
Oh man, I remember trying to. And it's the Redux too. So the Redux are the
all the DLC too.
The remastered.
Yeah, and the DLC and stuff.
So tight.
I mean, I guess those.
I mean, I've heard good things about
especially
the game.
2033 is pretty old at this point. So
yeah, I mean, they came out on the other systems in like 2014 or something, but still, like, there's games coming to Switch that you wouldn't expect, and they're coming like in mass. I mean,
Bioshock Collection is coming to Switch.
Yeah, so I was about to get to that too. I
still get it on PS4, but that's awesome.
Yeah, so according to that was going to be my next example. Is that according to leaks from the Taiwanese and Brazilian rating boards.
I mean, I know our whole outline before I go into a podcast.
Well, You take notes. No, but they have both leaked that Bioshock Collection, which is 1, 2, Infinite, and all the DLC, is coming to Switch. Which is like, this one personally I'm very interested in, because like every so often there's a game that's like a Nintendo only console owner I look at and go like, man, I wish I had a way to play that.
Those
I feel
aren't that
like
long, but they might be too long.
Well, regardless of, don't worry about that. Just if I want to experience them at my speed. Point is, like, I feel like every
so you're never going to experience them all.
Listen, my point is, I've always looked at those games and been like, that would be a cool
beat
experience.
These games?
Maybe. Stop focusing on
the reference. It's from Bioshock. Oh, you haven't played it.
Right, exactly. I don't know the reference. I want to correct that. But like, what I was trying to say is, like, every so often there are these games, and sometimes eventually they show up. Like, I remember Call of Duty on Xbox 360, Modern Warfare 1 and 2. I was super into playing with a friend, and I was like, I really love to play this eventually. And like, the Wii one doesn't count; it's motion control. But then Black Ops came to Wii U, and that was cool, and I got that. And now it's Bioshock's turn. So like,
don't diss the motion controls. They improved some games. Really.
No, they did, and apparently Call of Duty ones are pretty good. But I was like, I'm playing this on my friend's 360. I want to mimic that. But yeah, now Bioshock, which is kind of cool. And Kevin, have you played them all?
Yeah. No, I have not finished Bioshock 2.
Because Mr. Jason, are you going to finish your game? Hasn't finished the game. I see.
I finished Bioshock 1 and Infinite.
But not 2?
I got Infinite spoiled.
Listen, just
spoiled for me, and I will never let that go.
How'd that happen?
What do you mean, how'd that happen?
How'd it get spoiled?
Oh, I was like in the middle of a session, and then Angel's brother literally texts me the spoiler to the end of the game.
Oh,
He's
that's
like,
the worst.
Apparently this happens. I was like, what? Why would you do that to me? I was upset for like a week.
Right. Would you recommend... He just made a gesture towards the room where Elvis is currently residing. Would you... Because no one can see what he's doing.
It was a thumbs up.
It sure was. He was like, thanks, pal. So you'd recommend, like, I check them out when they come to Switch, assuming the port's good? I mean, this is the
same. Yeah, like...
Yeah.
I have no hope of you finishing
That's a different
the first
story.
One.
I'm talking about should I go spend money on
Well, see,
it?
that's the thing. It's like...
Okay, you guys are the worst. Anyway.
Who's porting this? Do we know?
Unclear, because it's only leaked right now. 2K hasn't even confirmed it, but two rating boards have leaked it.
I would recommend this to anybody for Bioshock 1 alone, just because that game is really fun. I haven't played part 2, but my brother really, really loves it. He loves it more than part 1.
The only reason that he loves it is because you get to be a big daddy in that one.
Yeah.
Literally,
you also get to be a big daddy in part 1.
So cool.
Not as much as you do in part 2. Oh.
Spoiler?
It's for an old game. Oh, well, whatever.
Yeah, it's from
I guess,
20,
yeah.
That's
not really...
It's from 20 years.
I don't really consider that much of a spoiler, because it's not really a twist.
Well, considering the sequel, it was a bullet point on the back of the box. Like, it's not that big of a revelation. Like, if you went in never
it's
playing
just something
the sequel,
that happens, but... Sorry, but I apologize. But it's not really It doesn't affect the plot,
right.
So don't worry.
But, like, honestly, like... all this is just the tip of the iceberg in terms of Switch this year, because like there's another rating leak pointing to Saints Row 4 now coming to Switch, and there's now 3 is already on Switch, and there's rumblings once again that Microsoft has more in store for the platform too. There was a Eurogamer journalist tweeted that they're eager to explore Switch the other day, which perfectly lines up with the rumor going around that they, much like Ori and the Blind Forest, they brought the first one over to promote the second one on their platform. Rumor is they might be doing some sort of HD-ified Halo 1 on Switch, maybe. I don't know if I believe it, but it does line... Like, there's all this talk of all these old ports, because, like, Switch is proving to be a gamer's system. Like, NPD put out some numbers about Switch hardware for December and for the full year, and surprise, surprise, like, we already know Switch is doing well hardware-wise. Top selling system of the year, top selling system of December. It outsold its December a year ago, meaning it sold somewhere over 1.77 million here in the U.S. alone in December, which is pretty big. But and actually even in Japan is doing crazy. Like year over year, it's up 29%.
Gangbusters?
It's up. It represented 70% of the Japanese game hardware market in 2019. 70% of all hardware sold in Japan was the Switch in 2019.
Whoa.
It's pretty big. But the point that's more interesting that was in that data, at least in my opinion, is it's not just Switches selling. It's Switches selling to core gamers who want gamery experiences, and the sign of that is the number one accessory in the video game industry in the year 2019 was the Switch Pro Controller. So clearly there's an audience here for this stuff, and it seems like developers from Capcom to now 2K to now maybe even Microsoft are starting to really recognize that and act on it, which is pretty cool to see. We're finally getting the like gamery games that, you know, Nintendo always apparently never got. So kind of neat. But we diverged very far from Byleth. Like, that was quite a tangent.
I never got to say my piece on it.
I don't mind diverging a lot from Byleth. So.
I figured. But, I mean, we gotta be fair to him. Like, it almost feels like we have to separate the character from the decision. And her. My apologies.
Them?
They. But yeah. we have to be, like, at the end of the day, he's not being shortchanged, and she are not being shortchanged as a character. Like, they are giving
their best.
It's like a Mad Lib.
Well, let's be honest, they put a lot of thought into it.
They did. That's what I was gonna say. Like, Sakurai and the devs did such a nice job.
The mechanics of the character look fun.
Yeah, and like not only that, like let's start small and work our way up to the character. Like the fan service treatment is it's right there with how Banjo was, with how Hero was. Like little things like all the alternate colors mirror all the houses. Like that's a small thing, but it's appreciated.
The colors do make the character look significantly different.
Yes,
which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and like the stage.
Actually, the Fire Emblem characters in general, like Robin's color palette swaps were like really well done.
Yeah, they are
almost all of them in general.
They do good fan service, and like the stage is pretty cool. It may not be super original. It cycles through multiple locales. That's a trait that I think all the Fire Emblem stages have. But they at least tried to make it different. They have elements like of each of the 4 parts of the school that have destructible environments, and there's cameos from each of the characters of the 3 houses. They even got a spot with the gatekeeper, who you may recall was like kind of a meme when the game first came out, so they kind of give that a nod. Like, they're really trying here, and I kind of like the scene transitions they do at this stage. Like, in the other Fire Emblem stage, I feel like there's that weird crossfade to white, and it's kind of like odd. This one, they lift it up and spin it and lower it.
A walk-off stage, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, that's a bit
there isn't much choice variety in the terrain, actually. Even though they're like, here are 2 platforms.
But the destructible stuff is kind of like, I think, supposed to be the new thing for this one. Because like the other ones have more terrain variety, but are very... Actually, no, I take that back. The other one has destructible...
Yeah, I mean, the Shadow Moses from Brawl had like destructible walls.
Right. I don't even mean I mean specifically...
Oh, I thought you meant like a new mechanic or something.
No, but it's not that new of a mechanic. They're just kind of sprucing up the existing one and doing a better job of explaining how you're going from point A to B in that Fire Emblem world. Because, I was never a fan of that crossfade. It always felt really lazy. But this is like...
They tried.
Yeah, this like the way that you like actually lift up and the camera swivels is kind of cool. But then, of course, you got Byleth as the fighter. And
they're there.
Can I point out that at the beginning of that trailer, like that little fairy thing, whatever. I'm sorry, I haven't played Three Houses, so but that girl in the chair, who's like, sure.
Do you call her Selfish?
Selfish.
Oh yeah, something like that.
With the blue hair.
Yeah. Someone on the other end is like, the name is da-da-da. That used to be you before you joined our podcast. You'd be like, that's not what Persona's called. Yeah. But anyway, what were you going to say about her?
She says a line like, too many swords, obviously, like making...
I want to bring that up.
But then, like, the character still has blades.
Well, yeah, but I feel like... Also, if we're talking about in-jokes, like, not only the too many swords thing, which is very self-aware, but also I did like how they did a second reveal for the female with Byleth recruits Byleth.
Oh,
I thought that was
like,
great. Like, the Sakurai's humor is on point.
Fair, Corrin doesn't even use a blade.
But the other 7 do, or 6 do.
Robin
uses magic, 5 do. But,
I mean, he does have that jaggy blade, but yeah.
Yeah, it does... It is weird because there was a slight tone deafness to it because it was like, haha, swordsmen, we have so many. Here's another one, but I guess they also have a bow and kind of an axe and like kind of a bigger blade. Yeah, but I think what's different with Byleth, or what I at least like about it is, and we'll have to see when we play it in a couple of weeks when it comes out, but it's more of a distance character. So like the other Fire Emblem characters, you gotta get pretty close. Like Mara, Lucina. I guess Ike has a little bit longer sword, but it's still pretty close combat. But this one, like the main or one of the 4 swords is like this whip thing. The bow you can use from far away. Maybe the axe and the lance are a little less so, but it is cool that 1, you can rotate between those, and 2, there's actually some range. So you're not necessarily... So it's like a different type of swordsman. But I agree that there is a slight, another swordsman. Here's the swordsman, while simultaneously not realizing or not having self-awareness to go, another Fire Emblem character, even though that's kind of the underlying complaint.
That was more...
So... But I don't know, like, I do... Some of the moves look really cool. I really like that up B where the whip kind of... Like, the sword whip becomes like a grab thing. Right, that's really cool, but
just like Joker, but yeah.
It's similar to Joker, yeah, for sure.
The only difference is that he brings you down instead of going up, which does make it unique.
Right. But, Angel, you're kind of a resident smasher, so since you already talked about, like, different moves and how they compare, like... If you remove the drama around Byleth, and I know you're saying it seems like they'd be fun, like, do you think... What do you think? Do you think this character actually has some chance to be, like, a main character in the competitive scene? Do you think they're too OP? Some of it feels OP to me, honestly.
I was going to say, none of it actually feels OP.
Really? The thing that stuck out to me was the whole... the equivalent of the Falcon Punch that Byleth has, where you can charge up the axe.
Oh, yeah.
And you're invincible the entire time you charge it, unless someone grabs you. I feel like that's a little, like... Have they done that to that extent with someone before?
Yeah.
Who?
Ganondorf's like Warlock Punch. It's invisible to everything but a grab.
I never noticed. Interesting. Okay, then I guess it's not
Bowser has armor on pretty much almost all of his moves.
You can tell I don't play competitively. I play as a party game, but...
King K. Rool's, his belly has armor all the time whenever he's attacking.
So where do you think Byleth will stand or rank? Or like what's your feel of it? Is it like a solid...
Probably like middle of the road, because like Byleth looks very vulnerable off stage. Like, it seems easy enough to dodge. I mean, like, the up B seems pretty good. Like, oh, cool. Like, they could climb and, like, pounce on you, but they could also just not chase them off stage.
Right.
And, yeah, I don't know. Some stuff seems pretty exploitable. Like, even that down B, like, that charging axe thing. Like, usually, if people know you have something like that, they're never going to get that close to you for you to use it. And when they do, they're just going to go for a grab. Everyone in this game goes for grabs. Like, I would say, like, 60 to 70% of what people do is a grab of some sort. So, that kind of, like, makes that move, like, something you're going to use maybe more in the air. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, nothing
really jumped out at you.
Yeah, honestly, like, of all the DLC characters, they seem the most safe or vanilla. Like, there's no, like, no new mechanics with them. There's no... Everything is just more, like, committal with that character.
Right.
It's, like, commit with the charge would be more to do more damage, but... You kind of pointed out like how like you're gonna reflect or, you know, yeah, I don't know. Very middle of the road. Very middle of the road. They seem fun, but they don't seem like exceptionally great or exceptionally bad. They just seem middle of the road.
Right. I think, I think actually bothered me because we were talking about like how they did the fake out with, like, oh, swordsman, that's kind of swordsman. Sakurai also, when he started talking about like the history of tactical strategy games.
Actually, before he even introduced the video, he thought like, no one knows that, not even Nintendo.
There's also that.
I feel like that almost built it up to be like, whoa.
Way bigger, right?
Yeah, they're like, whoa, like not even like Nintendo knows. Like, whoa, they're going to get their minds blown too. Oh, Fire Emblem.
Also, can we mention the fact that when he started doing these presentations, like when people would laugh, it would be like, you'd hear like a chuckle.
Oh, and now it's like a laugh track?
Now he's got like a studio audience with him now. Like,
my question is, how do you get tickets to be that studio audience? Granted, I won't understand what he's saying, but it would still be...
No, that translator will be there live.
Ooh, I would go to that. I'm not even kidding. When we go to Japan next year, I would go to
when I think Sakurai's voice,
Sakurai presentation taping.
I thought it was a little charming when, after the reveal, he was like putting up the poster.
Oh yeah, and then he gave that smirk.
That was
no, there's some good bits in it. And like I said, the binary thing was kind of funny. But there's one thing he said that's just like, that just...
But I think he's too in on the joke now.
He makes it hard to be mad at him.
I think they're too in on the joke.
And like, the thing that... So he was talking about tactical strategy games, right? And he was saying, like, yeah, so most of them involve tanks and, like, army units. And he kept going about that. And I was like, but Fire Emblem has fantastical characters. And, like, and the second he said tanks and planes, I was just like, Advance Wars. Just make an Advance Wars character. Like, it can revive the series the same way it did for Kid Icarus.
And honestly, they could
put a tank from Advance Wars in the game.
It doesn't have to be a CO. I don't want it to be a CO. It doesn't have to be
Byleth. I want the tank from Advance Wars.
I want it to be a cluster of grunts that work together, because the weirder the character is, and this is why I wanted Fire Pass 2 when they start doing it, the weirder the character is in Smash Bros, the better I feel like it is.
And honestly, like...
I want the grunts from Advance Wars. I want Wart. That's actually something I borrowed from Emily Rogers on Twitter. She was like, Wart would be fun, and she's absolutely right. And I don't know if it's a coincidence or not, but Nintendo, in their pamphlet for recruitment of new hirees in Japan, randomly has Wart in the official art, and I think that's the first time they've acknowledged Wart in some capacity in years. So, like, give me Wart, give me Advance Wars tank, give me an arms fighter, give me the choir boys, some rhythm having, like, all that in the second pass is what I want.
And honestly, like, I don't think there's any Fire Emblem character at this point that would be remotely exciting. Because even, like, I think what makes this even more disappointing is that he's been going out of his way, as you said, like, to incorporate new, like, gameplay mechanics with each character. Yeah. And this character doesn't have any new gameplay mechanics. All his attacks...
Which is funny because he made that point at the end that they all do.
And you know, like, oh, sure, he's not using a sword, but at the end of the day, they're all, like, ranged weapons. Like, that's not different or exciting. Like, I loved when they introduced... Like, Corrin initially was like, oh, a Fire Emblem character, but then like, oh, wow, they have, like, crazy projectile, they use a spear, they have this whole piercing thing.
And to be fair, like, Robin's kind of cool with the magic.
And Robin, too. Like, Robin is way different. He actually incorporates...
And excuse you.
Robin actually incorporates the whole mechanic from Fire Emblem where, like, all your weapons and items have durability, and they actually, like, go down, and you have to wait for them to recharge. That was awesome. Corrin has the whole pinning mechanic, and this character has nothing. They're just attackers, like... Yeah.
You know what the other thing that bothers me is, actually, we're talking about, like, I was saying, like, all these, like, you're talking about, you made an interesting point where you're like, they add new gameplay elements, and Sakurai at the end of the presentation was like, Fire Pass 1, like, we tried to do new stuff, everyone had something new, which maybe Byleth doesn't, but and then he's like, in Fire Pass 2 we're going to do even more, and then they're like, lastly, it's like, oh, well, one more thing, they're pulling an Apple, and he's like, how about those sales numbers? And like, why would you not tease? If you're doing a character that's not a big collaboration and you're Nintendo and you kind of know it's not going to get the same buzz as Banjo or Hero or Joker, why not do what you did at the Banjo presentation and do a very quick tease of the first character from Fighter Pass 2? They literally are selling Fighter Pass 2 starting January 28th alongside Byleth, and they didn't do any tease.
Honestly, I thought they were going to, like, because of that, I thought they were going to tease, like, the Piranha Plant equivalent or something.
Right. Well, that this time is a Mii Fighter costume. Well, I mean, the armored Link from Breath of the Wild.
Didn't they also do that with Rex?
That's true, they did.
So they can still do...
And that's another thing. Rex couldn't be a playable character because it was too close to release of the game. Fire Emblem's even closer, and somehow Byleth is in this. But, no, I really can't believe they didn't tease the next one, because, like, he said they're all decided already. They can do I mean, when they revealed Terry, it was just a pre-rendered trailer, had no real footage. It's so
just show us pictures, or just put the like Mortal Kombat literally just had a list of names, and then later had a trailer,
or just do a single render.
Because honestly, like just reading like some like just a bunch of comments on Twitter just to see what people felt. Like, a lot of people actually commented, like, honestly, like, after seeing all of the fighter paths getting revealed, it was an extremely big mixed bag. I actually don't feel confident pre-ordering the next one because I literally only cared about, like, one of these characters.
And the thing is...
Because, you know, the casual audience, like, I mean, totally. I'm getting it regardless because, you know, I care more about how they play than who they are. Although, it is always... I think I just care about, like, the reveal trailers. I just want the hype from the trailer. Once the character's out, I don't really care. I mean, I love Hero. I didn't care about him initially, but he did get me to buy the game. So, there you go.
And the thing is, like, I know we have talked about time and time again, like, developers, you know, it's their vision, it's their choice. There's two ways to look at this. One is this is partially a marketing exercise. There's no if, and, or but around that. Nintendo corporate tells Sakurai, here's who you choose from and here's why. So at some level, I feel like it's okay to be mad about this while, like, being like, oh, your design decision was poor. Because they're doing it to cater to fans, not so much to fulfill a vision. But more to the point, I have no problem with who they choose, but just, like, once you choose them, figure out the flow that makes the most sense. Like, and they went backwards. Like, he should have been in the middle of the pack, I think. And the fact that they didn't do a tease of the second one just is driving me crazy. I don't know why.
Well, I think the reason for no tease of the next character because, like, did anybody really expect a second fighter pass?
Because of...
Well, they announced that. They already announced that. They announced that...
when?
Oh, yeah, they did announce it.
They announced it in Terry's.
After Terry.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They just said more characters.
The big surprise was this one has 6 instead of 5, which is cool because I think it's the same price.
They also didn't even say it would have 5. They just said more characters are in development, and that was it.
And they implied it'd be, like, basically a continuation of the first one in terms of, you know, they'll do it again twice. And now they're like, haha, not really. We're adding a 6th. And I assume the price will still be $25. I don't know. They didn't even say that. So it could be $30, and then it's like, wait. So, okay. But, yeah, I don't know. I think... I'm excited to try him, even though he's not necessarily original. I do like when they add new fighters. I think the fan service form is great. I just wish, like, you know, they did well with it. I just think the way it was positioned is where things went a bit awry, personally. Now, on the flip side of that, like, Smash is only half the DLC story from Nintendo these last couple weeks. Because for all the flack it got, I feel like, maybe I'm wrong here, but I feel like Pokemon Sword and Shield's newly announced expansion pass received maybe not a full opposite reaction, but at least the pendulum swung a bit more in the other direction, and people seemed pretty into what Pokemon was doing.
I was pretty happy about
it's
everything
really
they
cool.
said.
So for those
especially the fact that they're introducing a tropical-ish area, which means we could get Chatot. So
yes, that's true. But yeah, as announced, for those who don't know, a week prior to the Smash DLC, they did a Pokemon Direct, and
they did.
They sure did. And essentially, Game Freak has fully sunsetted the idea of a third version of Pokemon in favor of a 2-part DLC release, which will introduce new Pokemon, new Galarian forms of existing Pokemon, new Gigamax forms of existing Pokemon, including, interestingly enough, the final forms of the starters, and new outfits and new items and new tutor. Did I just say Gigamax?
Yeah.
Is that what?
No, it's either Dynamax or Gigantamax.
Yeah, where'd I get Gigamax? Is Gigamax a battery? No, that's Dynamax.
No, Dynamax is like
Dynamax
every Pokemon can go Dynamax.
No. There's a battery called Dyna. Point is, I don't know why I said that.
You're flipping all over today.
Only twice. But there's new items, there's new outfits, there's new tutor moves, and it's all $30, sort of. So part 1 hits at the end of June. It's called the Isle of Armor. Because, you know, like Sword and Shield and Armor, they're so clever. Anyway, it's loosely based on the Isle of Man, which means it is more tropical, like Angel was saying. It's rather lush. It has beaches, it's greenery, it has caves. But more interestingly, it will also see you take on the role of a dojo apprentice under the guide of a former Pokemon champion who's also named Mustard. There are a lot of people named Mustard in this episode. 2 of them. That's 2 more than most. And I assume... Okay, this is a bad joke. I assume he's named Mustard because, as an apprentice, you are catching up to him, or catch up. I assume that's the joke there. I assume that's why they did that.
Or they
catch up at Mustard. You're catching up to Mustard.
Or his name is literally just Mustard. Oh, God.
Anyway, so there's a new Pokemon in the...
I got, like, you even sighed.
I know.
How terrible it was, and you still decided
I have no brakes. I can't pump the brakes on a bad joke. I just keep going.
Sometimes the name is just a name, as bad as it is.
Yeah, but anyway...
Because he's yellow? I don't know.
Is he?
Yeah, he's wearing a yellow suit.
Well, they could pick Mustard for the pun. You're right. How dare I? Anyway, the cool thing about the dojo is it means there's some like dojo fighting themed Pokemon. There's this guy named Cub Fu who evolves into 2 different forms with different fighting styles and attack styles. That's kind of neat. But then the second part is called the Crown.
Kind of weird that he's a legendary because most legendary.
No, he's not. He's not. Only the...
They called him a legendary.
Did they? I thought they were only...
They said the new legendary...
I thought only the legendary from part 2 was a legendary.
The legendary from part 2?
Yeah, the deer that looks like it's really smart because it just has a big brain.
That one.
What's his name? It's like Calyrex or something like that. But anyway, that's part of the Crown Tundra. That's the second part that's going to follow up in the fall. Part 1 will be out by the end of June. And the Crown Tundra, that's based on Scotland. It's replacing the tropical environment or augmenting those with snowy tundras and wintry things. This one we know a bit less about, but Game Freak's teasing that you're going to join some sort of exploration team, and the emphasis is really on going into Pokemon dens. And one of the biggest selling points, which is actually kind of cool, is these dens are going to house all the legendary Pokemon from every game. Like, obviously, there's the new one, the deer with the big brain, but they're also saying every single other one's coming back. And
it's obviously getting a new form, along with the Galarian bird trio.
Yeah, that's the other thing, is Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres look like they're all getting Gigantamaxed or I don't know if it's Gigantamax or just new Galarian forms.
They look like Galarian forms. Yeah. If they were Gigantamax, they would have had that little red outline, and
that's true.
They would have been drawn from a top-down perspective, because that's how every single.
You're right. Yeah, look at Mr. Animator over here noticing that. But no, they look cool. They look great.
They're not even moving though.
But you know what? You pay attention to
I know.
No, but it does, like, actually, that's the one thing. The concept art looked great. The concept art for all of it looked great, but man, those montages of concept art were like 17 minutes long. Like, it's just like, look over here, now look over there, now swooping back. And it kept swooping over the same spots, which is really funny.
It was like, all right, just like show me the notebook, and just like flip through it.
Yeah,
like,
seriously. It's just like just have a guy present it. But the inclusions of the legendaries are part of this broader push with the DLC of introducing about 200 old Pokemon back into Sword and Shield's Pokedex, including a Galarian Slowpoke that if you visit the game if you play the game, update it, and visit a certain spot currently in the current form of the game, I think it's the station, Wedgehurst or whatever. If you do that, you actually get to see this Slowpoke, and you get to interact and catch it or take it and all that. And I don't know. Do you guys get the same vibe as I do, that the 200 plus Pokemon was kind of Game Freak's way of giving an olive branch to the National Dex complainers? Because, like, timing wise,
I mean, it just felt
like they're not fully meeting the demand. And I'm sure the producer of Pokemon, Masuda, is very aware of not fully meeting demand, because he actually, this is real, he had to tweet on his birthday, "Let me relax and enjoy my birthday. Stop pestering me about Pokemon
Did
DLC."
he really?
Not verbatim, but that was the message. Like, can I just relax on my birthday? Like, wait a day about the Pokemon DLC. So clearly people are still harassing him, unfortunately,
after his birthday to
do this. Well, Nintendo was probably like, our marketing schedule, we have a Smash thing in a week, but we don't do directs anymore for all the games. We do them game by game. We have to do our whatever direct a week after that.
But when are they going to dump all the not as exciting games? I guess
I still think there's going to be a direct. I mean, we got all those weird third-party announcements, but or not weird, but like the ports.
I guess it's up to the third parties or.
But either way, the reason I think that Game Freak might be kind of responding to the National Dex stuff is, one, they really emphasized how many Pokemon were back, and they really emphasized all the legendaries, all the ones you care about, they're coming back. And then number two, the timing lines up, because last summer they put out that letter like, hey, Sword and Shield's releasing in the state we envisioned, but stay tuned for more. And like that summer till next summer is a decent amount of time to render a bunch of new Pokemon and put them in the game. Like the they probably saw at E3 the feedback, and like, we should maybe make this more of a DLC priority, and now here we are. Like I'd believe it, and like, I don't know, credit where it's due, they're not actually paywalling any of the new Pokemon.
Sort of.
No, not at all. The core. Well, here's what I mean.
You need to have someone that have bought in it.
Yeah. Well, you can trade. You can trade. They have a weird trade.
Someone that has purchased it.
I guess.
Someone had to have spent the money.
Yeah, well, that's no different than... I know.
Yeah,
but like the core... What I think is kind of neat about it is... And actually, no, you don't need to necessarily trade with them, because here's something that they buried in the press release. The core game, when you update it, you'll get to obviously trade, but you can also do max raid battles with anyone who has the expansions and go and fight those expansion Pokemon in your core game. So if you have a friend that bought it and you don't want to buy it, but you just want to go do max raids with them,
so it requires... I mean, that's no different than trading at that point.
Well, not exactly. You both get it. Everyone gets it when you do the raid.
Yeah, but it still requires someone
that this is the case. It's in the press release. You don't need to own the expansion to do the max raid battles. If someone else sets it up, you can just...
That has the DLC.
Yes, but again, this is different than trading, because you don't need to catch it twice. You each get it the one time when you raid together.
All right.
I'm just saying it's kind of cool. Like, they could so easily have just been like, nope, you have to buy it if you want any of these Pokemon, but they're actually trying to, like, connect it a little, which is nice, I feel like. feel like you guys aren't quite sold on it as much as me.
I mean, it doesn't feel like any special. I mean, that's kind of been the case with any of the Pokemon games for the most part.
That you could go fight Pokemon that aren't in your game. But, well, actually, yeah, I guess it's just because max raids are new. Cooperative catching.
I mean, but the Pokemon are still going to be in the game.
Yeah.
You just can't catch them unless it's a Dynamax version.
Well, they basically got to update the game to recognize all the new Pokemon. The core game, for free.
Let's say I do not buy this DLC. Correct. I'm still getting those 200 Pokemon in my game.
You will have the ability... Yes, they won't be in your wild areas.
But I will not be able to catch them.
Unless you go through a friend's max raid or trade.
Correct.
But that's still better than making everyone pay for it just to access them. Which is what the third version system was. If they ever introduced new Pokemon there, you had to go buy... Actually, that's the whole problem with third versions, is they... I'm kind of curious about your thoughts on this, actually. But, like, third versions, you put in... I don't know how many 100 hours into a game, and they're like, hey, you want to do that again, but with, like, 1 or 2 new features, or, like, a Celebi this time, or, like, weird things like that. Now they're kind of like, yeah, I need to do that. If you know someone, it's fine. Which I guess theoretically...
I feel like you're underselling third versions a lot. Because they definitely put in way more than just that. Like, Emerald introduced, like, the Wild Frontier, which
pretty much... They add a feature to a game that's mostly the same.
Yeah, but, I mean, you also don't have to get it.
Well, yeah, but think about if you, like...
I mean, it wasn't integral because, like, between the versions, like, they might introduce, like, 1 or 2 new Pokemon, but they're usually legendaries, but nothing really made you go get it unless... you just really want to play more, or you missed out on the first 2.
I think what Jason's trying to say is that if you already had the original version, the third version is mostly the same game for a bunch of hours.
Yeah.
Like,
there's people that come in at the third version. That's fine, but I'm saying, like, the concept of it is such a cheap cash-in that, like, not abuses, but takes advantage of the fact that there are diehard fans that want to experience everything and want to experience the Wild Frontier or whatever. So they will. So Game Freak can go, well, we'll just give them the same game with a few new things, and they have to put in another 100+ hours and all that.
Yeah, I mean, considering it's like a consistent thing, you think they could just not do that and just include everything from the get-go and maybe just delay the game a year?
It was a business.
I know.
Yeah.
But, like, at the same time, I don't know, maybe in the beginning when they had a yellow version or gold, maybe they did think of it as an expansion or DLC, but that just wasn't a feasible thing to do, so they had to really...
Yellow absolutely was a cash-in, because all I did was stick Pikachu in it and had him walk around because he was super popular. I think Gold, I think Crystal, when they started doing, like, especially in Japan where they had the cell phone functionality, if you lived in Japan, that's where I think your point that they're trying to do DLC before DLC existed probably holds more weight.
I think regardless, I think the only one that gets excused by this is Black 2 and White 2, because that was definitely like a full-on sequel with like a different campaign, and I mean it was really interesting.
And, like, to be fair to them, like,
even Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon had some significant changes.
Yeah, to be fair, Game Freak, like, they definitely experimenting tried more
with it.
Yeah, like, it wasn't like they went from cheap cash in straight to DLC. They definitely, like, the sequels were an interesting idea. Ultra Sun and Moon were, like, kind of a hybrid of the old third version and the sequel.
Actually, everything, because, like, I mean, I definitely, like, pretty much felt that way about the third version. I either ignored them because I had the first version, or I waited for it, which that never happened. Because, I mean, the only time I ever did get a third version was Platinum, and I maybe played, like, the first few hours before I was just, like, kind of done with it, because it's like, I don't want to go through the campaign again. Everything is just snowier.
Yeah.
But after Black 2 and White 2, I think they stopped doing third versions. It was either a remake in between each game, or, like, a full-on sequel.
Yeah, so they've been I would say, like, the Ultras. I was starting to say this a second ago, but I think the Ultras are the hybrid. Like, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon are the hybrid of, like, the old third version idea with the idea of a sequel. So they weren't actually, like, sequels. They were, like, they changed some scenarios up and made it different enough that it felt fresh, but it was still... It wasn't as full-fledged as Black and White 2 is what I'm saying. So they've been dabbling in different strategies. Yeah. But I think, like, what makes the expansion pass so great, at least to me, is they've sidestepped the repetition everything else requires.
It's definitely the best thing they could have done.
Yeah,
it's definitely the best way to go with Pokemon.
The fact that they literally, the first sign point was, it uses your save data. Like, I was like, oh, wow. And not only that, but, like, you don't have to necessarily beat the core Sword and Shield to do this. These new areas will open up and be accessible in the same non-linear way that anything in the wild area is.
That's super cool, because I kind of dropped off hard on Pokemon.
So would you double dip on this, though, when they start introducing the new scenarios and world? And
I'm getting the expansion pass.
Okay, yeah. So
especially Crown Tundra looks really, really cool.
Yeah, that also means I don't have to wait until the end of this year to get
a new Pokemon. They broke the cycle.
Yeah, I could just get this one and confidently be like, all right, cool. this is the Pokemon I'm going to be playing.
And like, here's the other thing: is like we own as fans, we're like, oh, this is great for us, but like for Game Freak, there's like so many, and Nintendo, there's actually a couple like good business reasons to do this. That contrary to the we get another $40. It is cheap. It's but
I don't want to pay $60 again.
Well, it's cheaper and it isn't. So the one thing we're complaining about, before I talk about the business advantage, the one thing we're complaining about is the questionable choice. They have split the DLC in two. So Sword and Shield's DLC will have slight differences, exclusive Pokemon, different characters. Like I think on Isle of Armor, you either have Clara or something with an Avery,
dude with the
magical as the either person you interact with. They're kind of your competitors in the dojo. And, that means if you really want the full, true, all-encompassing, holistic Sword and Shield experience, and so that's $60 for Sword, $60 for Shield, $30 for one DLC, $30 for another DLC. It's it's actually arguably more. It's $180 total versus if you had version 3, it'd be $120 total. So you're actually...
Wait, no.
Yeah. 60. Wait.
No, you said.
You're right. I
did
that math wrong. Yeah. It's the same number.
Yeah,
it's the same number.
So it's literally the same thing then.
But still, it's if you really want the full experience. So they're still kind of nickel and diming, but they're doing it at a much lower.
Can't you also buy Sword and Shield at that combo?
You can, and it's like $10 cheaper, and you can actually buy a combo of the DLC as well. They're discounting it slightly. So I imagine they will at some point release a complete edition that has everything and maybe saves you $10. But I guess I guess the thing that's kind of like, oh, come on, Game Freak, is
a complete, so you mean like a third version that has both the red Pokemon, the Shield, and the Sword Pokemon?
No, I'm saying no. I'm saying how they did the double pack.
Just the
double pack with the DLC.
That has everything.
Yes, that's what I mean. Gotcha. It's just at the end of the day, I feel like they were so close to dropping the nickel and dime, but it's so deep rooted in Game Freak's blood that they just couldn't quite shake it, and they still.
Is this Game Freak's blood, or is it the Nintendo companies?
It's
Pokemon
Company.
Yeah,
which on the business side, like I was starting to say before,
I feel like Game Freak gets a bad rap for all this stuff when it's like it's the Pokemon Company.
Game
Freak makes other games aside from Pokemon.
They do, like Harmonite and the Badass Elephant game.
Timbo,
yeah,
something like that.
But Pokemon Company's like this whole thing is really savvy. Like, because first of all, every time a third version comes out, think about how many copies of the originals are traded in. Because people are like, I'm done with this, and we get the better one, right? Or like they transfer to Pokemon, then they sell it to GameStop or something. Right. Which means the market, every time that there's a third version, gets flooded with all these now cheaper ones of the first two. And that means, if you're a casual fan, why spend full MSRP when you get basically the same experience for a little cheaper if you buy it used? And for casual folk, there's definitely a market for that. Game Freak Pokemon Company has basically completely cut that off. That is not a thing anymore. They will just get pure money. They will get everything because they get the core purchase and then they get the DLC. And if you're really diehard, you give them both DLCs.
I mean, they got it before regardless, though.
Kind of.
Because if I bought whatever, I bought we'll say Diamond.
Sure.
They already got my money from Diamond.
And then they get your money from Platinum.
And then they're getting the money from Platinum, yeah.
But they won't get the money when you sell Diamond off.
Yeah, he's saying that if
someone else comes in and doesn't care about Platinum, they'll buy the cheaper Diamond.
Good point.
So they lose the second sale.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you if you do this, you avoid that completely. And what better time to switch it over than with the first Pokemon, where most people, not most, but there's a chunk of people that are saying it's the least. There's less meat on the bone after the main game. There's not as much reason to keep it. There's no national dex. What am I going to do with it? And they're like, well, you're keeping it for the expansion pack now. That's what you're doing with it.
Some people are.
Yeah, some people. There's still going to be a subset that sell it, I'm sure. But they have squashed a huge secondhand market.
I'm talking about the people who, even after this announcement, weren't satisfied.
Oh, yeah.
The people who are like, they could have just put this in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean...
Well, that's true of any DLC.
Sure, yeah. At that point...
If they develop a game long enough, they could have put literally anything in the game. So.
But I think the fact that they're doing it, it's a really poor GameStop. They're already struggling. I mean, even now, one of the biggest games that's traded in is off the radar in a major way.
Yeah, that is true.
I mean, without the Pokemon and all that stuff, it's still a 40-hour game.
Yeah, people are just
they're just really attached to the old Pokemon. This is what it is.
And there's a second thought, by the way, attached to this is if they keep selling this base game or do the double pack plus DLC combo, ultimately it's helping the game's sales continue to grow as a base level. Like they're now stacking a second cost on top of the first, so they're getting double dipped there. And then if you look at what happened with like Sun and Moon, as soon as Ultra Sun and Moon came out, Sun and Moon just basically vanished off the sales chart. They were ready for another joke. This one I actually wrote down because I'm so proud of it. They eclipsed Ultra Sun and Moon eclipsed Sun and Moon.
That one's all right.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah,
Did
like
you say Sun and Moon eclipse Sun and Moon,
or Ultra Sun and Moon eclipse Sun and Moon.
Okay, you ruined your joke. Keep
No.
going.
I think roll back the tape. I said it
because
right.
you explained it.
Oh well. Anyway, so in like 2019, top selling 3DS game according to NPD, Ultra Sun and Moon. You know, it was not all on the chart. Regular Sun and Moon, and that's not necessarily a problem. Game Freak's still making money, but it's much easier for marketing to be like, this is the best-selling Pokemon game ever, than to basically cut off their own legs and have to sort of start anew with something else. So that's another advantage they gain if they just stack DLC on top. So there's some really like kind of savvy.
And I mean,
moves.
I'm sure there's like a whole wave of people like me that were like, I'm gonna wait for the third version.
And now you're gonna buy it and
no,
the DLC.
we're not holding out, so they're probably gonna get. They probably got already like a whole second wave of like.
They're gonna get $90 out of you instead of $60. If you wait for a third version, it would be $60. Doing this, you get the main game and the DLC, and that's $90. It's very. It's like it's a very
like
clever.
They don't have like a President's Day sale. Come in quick,
Maybe
get Pokemon.
But even then, the retailer swallowed the cost
Before
difference
they
at that point
go.
for the most part. I doubt Nintendo. Was that like a Pokemon? Was that a Pokemon Go reference? What just happened there? But
some inflatable Wobbuffets.
I see. And like to be clear, it's not like these games are selling poorly by any means. They had the largest debut of any Pokemon ever, but they could always get
every
higher.
Pokemon game does.
No, this one was like. Actually, you might be right. Sun and Moon did and these did, but before that, it was
Joe
all...
Merrick. Every single Pokemon game that's come out has always been the best Pokemon.
Well, this is still, and you know, they could use an extra boost.
When that doesn't happen, I think like everyone will take like a moment of silence.
You know what's weird? Actually,
like,
I was shocked by
people
this.
People are over Pokemon.
I was shocked by this. They're not over Pokemon. It's still selling fine. But you know what's crazy is if you look at. No, I know.
Future.
No, I'm saying what I'm about to say isn't implying people are over. It's just kind of crazy. If you look at the December software sales that NPD put out, Luigi's Mansion 3 charted higher than Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield's individual SKUs by like so according to the NPD top 10.
Ooh, Game Freak doomed.
I know, right? So the first 4 are all multi-platform games, so they're not really relevant to us. But Call of Duty, none of them are on Switch. Actually, one of them is.
They didn't stand
Call
a ghost
Duty,
of a chance.
Jedi Fallen Order, Madden, and then NBA 2K were the top 4 in December. Number 5 is Luigi's Mansion 3, followed by Pokemon Sword. And here's where it gets sad. Then Mario Kart, then Smash, and only then Pokemon Shield. So I don't even know if Sword and Shield combined actually surpassed
literally
Luigi.
because
Shield is the superior version. I don't know why anybody's fronting here.
That was literally because
Shield
Elvis accidentally bought the wrong version. Yeah. Otherwise, it would have been
then
one
the whole
tier.
reverse would But and just to round out the top 10 for anyone counting at home, number 10 was
Except
Minecraft.
we don't have Surfetched, which is a little disappointing.
Yeah, you know who does? Sword.
Which means
I have it. Because remember last episode where I was like, I own Shield. And I'm like, no, wait, I own Sword.
Wait, do you have a Surfetched?
I have the game that offers him.
Come on,
anyway.
he got 5 hours into the game.
No, I'm a little further. But point is, like, Pokemon included, Nintendo had a really good December. Like, over half...
I'm buying Shield by necessity since Elvis does have Sword.
But over half of December's top 20 games were published by Nintendo. So they had a very good month. That's kind of nuts. Like, whatever about, like, boosting Pokemon sales. And... It's actually not the only, like, just go on one more look. We've done a lot of tangents this episode.
Congratulations to Luigi. You're no longer second fiddle.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean,
yeah, Mario didn't even make it top 10, right? Like, where was Odyssey? I mean,
that's the other surprising thing. So not only did they release the December numbers, they put out the whole 2019 numbers, NPD. The top 10 Switch games of 2019. Super Mario Party is on there. Ring Fit Adventure's on there at number 10, which is awesome. That game deserves the love. But you know what's not
Mario, though.
You know what's not on there, though? Mario Odyssey. It's just like, I don't know where it went. Maybe it's number 11.
I think people finally woke up, or everyone that wanted it already has it.
But then on the flip side, Breath of the Wild.
To what?
He doesn't like it.
What?
Haven't you listened to the show or been on it for like 6 months now?
No, I like it. I just don't think I just don't think it's as good as people make it out to be.
You're right. It's definitely not as good as Sunshine, but
yeah,
I do love Sunshine. I unapologetically love Sunshine. I was so excited for Sunshine. I had a countdown I put on my fridge that I printed out daily.
I think they went a little overboard with like the moons for the most part, but
yeah, I get that criticism.
But
I love Odyssey though.
Yeah, I love Odyssey. But yeah, it
has good moments.
It didn't chart in 2019 on Switch.
I mean, makes sense. Yeah.
Like really, the only thing that was a surprise
was Breath of the Wild on there.
It was. I don't remember what number, but it was on there, and it's also, it's been on the NPD chart for like 30 straight months or something. But really, the only thing that wasn't a surprise on any of these NPD numbers was the overall top 10 for the decade, which was also released. And that list was 6 Call of Duties, 2 Rockstar games, GTA 5 and Red Dead 2, and Minecraft. Not a single Nintendo game on the list. Nothing cracked through. Even though Mario Kart 8's like a huge thing on Switch, Zelda's a huge thing. Definitely no Smash Brothers. It's too new.
Fighter?
It's too new. No. But yeah, it's kind of like that list: 6 Call of Duties, 2 Rockstar games, and a Minecraft. Man, his gaming's very like it makes sense on one hand, but like gaming's really homogenized itself, hasn't it? 6 Call of Duties. That's a lot of Call of Duties.
It is, but I mean,
I wouldn't say it's disappointing, but it's almost kind of disappointing. Like the top 10 of the decade was 6 Call of Duties.
I am surprised it's 6, considering like I mean, there was a period where I feel everyone I knew was really into Call of Duty. Like my brother, he was really into at least 3 of them.
Yeah, I mean, I was just saying earlier I like them.
And then people like it's kind of like dove off. I mean, it was really fun. I loved playing it. I didn't want to own them. I think the only Call of Duty I bought was the one for the Wii with the launch day Call of Duty.
Yeah, on the Wii? You mean the Wii U?
No, the Wii.
The Wii. They didn't have one on launch day. Oh, maybe they did. World War II. No.
It was
WW2. I don't know.
It was Call of Duty 2. No, it was Call of Duty 3.
Right.
Just Call of Duty 3.
Right.
And yeah, that one was fun. It definitely doesn't play like any of the Call of Duties. Didn't have any multiplayer.
Right.
But I mean, it was fun.
But yeah, it's just like and it is a popular series. I get that, but like I kind of wish there's so much diversity in gaming that I wish the list was not 6 Call of Duties. It's just
and
so
to
crazy.
be clear, they are like 6 different ones, not like
which one's
and
the
they're not 1 through 6. And they're not 1 through 6.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
scattered.
I was gonna say like not just like 2 Call of Duty spread across different.
Yeah, no, like that
something.
list, the top 10 list of the decade is in it, mixed and matched 6 Call of Duties and 2 Rockstar games and a Minecraft. Yeah,
it's kind of crazy considering this is. If you said that that's decade, that means it's post like Modern Warfare and
yeah, that's
which is crazy because that's when it was at its
peak,
and then I guess started like diving off after Black Ops.
Yeah,
it was after Black Ops 2.
I guess after Black Ops, our core group.
But now it's back. The new one started diving off. The new one's made $1 billion in like a week. Like it's still a huge franchise. It was the number 1 selling game as we were talking about in the month of December. So like, there's something to why there's numbers that back the fact that they're still doing this. So like, obviously it's still popular. I just wish there's.
And the new one's great. I play it nightly.
Modern Warfare.
Not
to be confused with Modern Warfare.
Not to be confused with Modern Warfare.
And it's 3 sequels? 2 sequels?
Yes. But we do digress again. So many tangents this episode. But
modern as in like 2010s or modern as in like somewhere between Future Warfare and Modern Warfare?
No, it's back in... It's a remake of Modern Warfare, sort of. Not a remake, but a reimagining.
A reimagining is the better word.
Yeah, but we've really gone on a lot of tangents. But yeah, if anyone's curious, there's so many stats out there from MPD right now. It's interesting to read through.
Tangents are in our blood.
I know. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm just saying, like, there's no, like, huge takeaways from a lot of these stats because, like, nothing's very unexpected. But it's interesting nonetheless. So for all you out there who like Jason's Sales Corner, and I know you exist and you know who you are and I see you, go look up some of these stats. It's actually really interesting. There's the year, the decade, the month. But yeah, the original point I was trying to make here is there's always more room for Sword and Shield sales to go up, and the DLC's going to help do that. Like, even in Japan, where the game's @1 in 2019. It sold 3 million copies across the 2 versions. Second place game was Smash at 1 million. So like that's a huge discrepancy, a huge gap. So even there's a lot of opportunity for growth for Pokemon. So we'll see what it does. The only other thing that kind of left me scratching my head with Pokemon, besides the fact that they're still nickel and diming the 2 versions, is Pokemon Home.
Yeah, they're sleeping on this thing.
It comes out next month, which in and of itself is fine. But am I the only one that finds it incredibly weird that Pokemon Home, which is Game Freak's grand plan to bring together all aspects of like the Pokemon experience, is launching in a few weeks, but they're still not telling us much about it at all? Kevin, are you trying to eat some pretzels? Go ahead. He's trying to be all sneaky. Yep. But,
no, busted or wasted. But
take these away.
I don't know.
He's like bending down so the mic doesn't pick up the crouching. Thank you so much.
I feel
for
like it's a really weird situation for Pokemon, or maybe they just don't care. But I like just my take on it is like Pokemon Home. I feel like to the gamer, like to me, it would mean like, oh, you're only gonna open up the service, when's you're gonna let us literally open up the floodgates and put any Pokemon we want back? Even though we know, like they've said multiple times, like only Pokemon that are in Pokemon Sword and Shield are transferable. That almost defeats the purpose, especially in the past. Like anytime they've had a service like this, like Pokemon, what was it called?
Bank.
Yeah, Pokemon Bank. By the time Pokemon Bank was finally up and running,
that was a better name.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, this is supposed to be the home to all your Pokemon, and the app, supposedly, all they did was confirm it's a paid service. But originally, they pitched it as like, "Oh, you'll be able to interact with your Pokemon on your phone too," whatever that means. But you're saying, home comment.
Because I remember, what was it? X and Y came out. I wanted to transfer all my Pokemon from the DS because those were the ones I put the most time in. And then they announced Pokemon Bank. I remember there were so many memes about like it's been like 1,000 years that they like finally put it out. But by the time they put it out, I had already remade every single Pokemon from that and better, and like bred like they were like the perfect versions, and I was like, what's the point anymore? Like there's nothing. It's just useless.
To your point of
unless you're like trying to catch them all and like transferring your collection with you. But
to your point of like doing it without all of them, I feel like they're actually going backwards. Like I don't know if this was just the diagram on the Direct wasn't complete or what, but Pokemon Go's logo is no longer in the little picture of like all the games. You know how like they had the original diagrams like Pokemon Go pointing in, and it's gone.
Supposed to get I guess you're supposed to get Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee to get your Melmetal.
I guess. But originally Pokemon Go had its own separate bubble that fed in, and that was not on the diagram in the Pokemon Direct. And I can't help but wonder, does that mean it's delayed? Because like honestly, given how big Go still is, in 2019 it actually had more revenue than any other year. $849 million made in Pokemon Go in 2019. That's with reports of mobile gaming stagnating. Like revenue's going up, but there's not new players in 2019. Everyone has a mobile phone, and yet Go is still making $849 million more than ever before. And Pokemon Company just looks at that and goes like, "Yeah, that can wait. We'll launch Home without it." That just seems so weird. To your point about like how they're doing it too. I don't know. Like,
do you consider quote unquote mythical Pokemon legendary Pokemon?
I've never given it that much thought.
Oh, the only reason
you?
The only reason it just came to my.
I've never given it that much thought.
The only reason like it just came up, or I just thought of it right now, was because when we were saying that like literally every legendary Pokemon is coming.
But it's not the mythicals.
Because so I was like, oh, that's right. Like we're actually not getting like Jirachi and Hoopla and Marshmallow.
That's DJ.
Marshadow. There we go. Yeah.
Anyway, this whole thing of Pokemon Home kind of just reminds me of like the Switch Online's launch, where we had this thing they expect us to pay for. They didn't really explain how it worked until like actually with Switch Online, they didn't explain how it worked until after you could already buy it. Like you remember they had the pre-order cards up, but like no one knew what it was, and then like the week before they're like, "Oh, it's half baked. Here you go." Like I kind of have this weird feeling that Pokemon Home's gonna be like, "Oh, it's half baked. Here you go." Yet somehow Pokemon Company still has time to put out ASMR videos of Pokemon. This is a real thing. I'm serious. We will link to it if you don't believe me. But there is a video that's 30 minutes long of a Charmander, CG rendered Charmander sleeping next to a fire, and there's an 8-minute video of a Chespin eating crunchy food. Someone at Pokemon Company has time to do that, but they can't bother telling us how Home works. I know they're different divisions. Just conceptually, that's very strange to me. I will say the Chespin video is kind of adorable. I watched like a minute of it, but it's also like, what? So, yeah, I don't know. Like, it's a weird situation, but I guess we'll find out in the coming weeks. I mean, it's supposed to be out next month. It's mid-January now, so.
I'm assuming you're paying for it?
Yeah, are you going to get it?
What?
Home? Well, he doesn't have any games that support it at the moment.
True.
And even if I did,
You didn't get Let's Go Pikachu or Eevee?
He did not.
No. Yeah, and there's nothing from...
Interesting dilemma there.
Interesting that you'll pay for a service that doesn't support anything you own.
I mean,
why would you do that, Angel?
Doesn't it support Sun and Moon?
I don't think so.
But, yeah, shouldn't it?
I don't think it does. I don't think so. I think that's like Pokemon Go is supposed to be like the starting point, and it's not even. Let me see. Pokemon Home. Googling on the podcast. Pokemon Home.
I want to say it does, but I mean, if it does, then I do have a reason, because there are plenty of Pokemon that I have that because I'm getting the game already a couple months in.
It does. Sorry, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
Oh, so not Sun and Moon?
Nope. So it half does. And welcome to the dilemma of the third versions and half sequels, and thus the DLC is great.
That is a bummer, because I do have a pretty bomb Kingler I wanted to bring over.
However, I think it lets you do stuff with Pokemon Bank, so you might be able to do Bank to Home.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is why I want them to announce things not before, because it feels half-baked because of this.
I could go that route. I mean, I would just have to pay another... Because I haven't paid for bank in forever, even though it's only $5 a year.
Yeah, right.
I don't even know if that's still available, but I would pay $5 to move all my usable Pokemon to bank to then move it to Shield.
This is why I can't believe they put out a 30-minute ASMR video of Charmander sleeping, but can't figure this out.
Because there's no way I'm not going to start with my super team already, but yeah.
So that's something they have to explain still. Instead, they
oh man, that's kind of a mess.
Yeah, exactly. It's supposed to be out in like the next, let's say, 7 weeks. So who knows? But there was news beyond Pokemon Sword and Shield in the Direct. There was also separate from all that, Nintendo used it to announce a new Pokemon game remake thing of sorts. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon.
It's the Resident Evil 2 of Pokemon.
Yes, essentially. Pokemon
Actually, no.
That's unfair. That's unfair. Resident Evil 2. It is nowhere near that.
No. It's the Link's Awakening.
Not even that. Well, actually, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah. It's literally just...
It doesn't have as many quality of life improvements, I don't think.
It's just a facelift.
But Link's Awakening had a few quality of life changes, too. So, I imagine Mystery Dungeon. So,
well, the fact they had more buttons?
Yes. No, but, so, first, for those who don't know what we're talking about, Mystery Dungeon, Rescue Team, original on Game Boy Advance and DS, 2 separate versions are now merging together. It's sort of like how Sword and Shield is getting rid of its multiple third version thing into one. And yeah, we have this new watercolor meets cel-shaded looking Rescue Team
what
DX
Pokemon were you?
On Switch. Are you referencing the song? What kind of Pokemon are you?
No.
How do I do the things I do?
Like after you do your personality survey.
It said I was a Skitty. And I was like, no, thank you. And I chose Totodile in the demo.
No, the Sorting Hat put you in House Skitty, all right?
I guess, but I didn't want to be a Skitty.
So you're Harry Potter. He's like, go to Slytherin. No, I'm Gryffindor.
No, I'd end up in I was gonna say I'd end up in Hufflepuff. I wouldn't even end up in Hufflepuff. I'd end up in Ravenclaw because Hufflepuff.
You would end up in Hagrid's house.
Just me and Hagrid. No, I feel like because Hufflepuff, people are like prideful, like, oh, I'm in Hufflepuff because it's not Gryffindor. I wouldn't even get Hufflepuff. I get the one no one talks about, which is Ravenclaw. Yeah. So Skitty makes sense. But
it should have been Skitty. I got Squirtle.
No, I will say
no, you can't. I mean, if you want to, you can change that apparently because
because I did.
No, I just went with what the game decided was my personality.
You're a Skitty.
I'm Skitty.
You're a
Skitty for life. But in all seriousness,
it's your nickname.
In all seriousness, stepping aside, aside from the fact that I'm Skitty, the game looks really nice. The DX edition, I don't know if you remember the old official art they put out to promote the originals on DS and GBA. But
like the TV show.
They what?
The one that looked like the TV show. The promotional art for
no, they had like some of the art they used had kind of a watercolory pastel thing, and this game literally is that in motion, which is kind of cool. And I feel like even the developers know it looks kind of cool because all the illustrations in the game, there's literally a button prompt behind every menu that says not just view illustration, it says direct quote here, admire illustration.
Wow.
Which how proud of your own work are you that you're admire illustration on every menu. But anyway, the game itself, well, I mean, are you guys fans of the series? Have you ever played a Mystery Dungeon?
I never played Mystery Dungeon.
What about you, Andrew?
They look charming, but I just never got.
Yeah.
I mean, I played every demo of every game.
And that's it, right?
And yeah, that was it. I remember when I first heard about them, I was excited. It's real-time kind of Pokemon fighting. And then I played the demo.
It's kind of half.
I played through it, and I'm just I don't know. It's just not... I didn't really find it fun. Yeah, it didn't click with me.
It's fine though, because theoretically
and I keep hoping
you thought it was going to be Pokken, right?
No. I mean, I knew it wasn't going to be Pokken. I don't know what I was expecting. Just I thought the fact that Pokemon would be attacking in real time would make it more exciting than
exhilarating
than the current battle system because it's turn-based.
But it's somehow.
It's somehow less exciting.
Yeah, it's weird because theoretically this is the closest to the core games of any Pokemon.
I enjoy walking around. I enjoy
right?
walking around and talking to Pokemon more than the core gameplay.
Yeah, but it's weird because there's no reason it shouldn't resonate in theory on paper because you have. I know, but I'm saying you clearly have Pokemon. You build a team, in this case a rescue team, and they each have 4 attacks. You can decide which one leads the party, and you can swap between them and have them do their different attacks. You have all the RPG tropes. There's leveling up and everything, but yeah, they're all just it's not this.
I mean, it's not for us. I mean, clearly it's popular because it's had sequels galore.
And it's odd because they're just talking to one another in English and running a strange little Pokemon town. And apparently they have their own economy somehow, using money that somehow they mint. I don't really understand how that's possible.
I mean, they're not just shells or something?
No, it's called Poke. They're little and they're not like the bowls you get. They're like little coins.
I do like that they just fuse the two versions into one cartridge.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's very nice.
Because I always found it weird that there were multiple versions for some of these. It's like,
again, Nintendo and Pokemon Company trying to make extra cat. Well, actually, the first one makes sense because it was bridging Game Boy and DS. It came out in 2005 when DS was still new, and this is that one. When they kept it going, is it right? I don't know if it's right. Can you let me know?
No,
okay,
you're right.
But it's yeah, I don't know why they kept it going with the DS versions and up, but the initial one makes sense because it was like the Twilight Princess of
there was
Pokemon
one that required you to
Dungeons.
take pictures of stuff, huh?
I don't remember.
It was like for Gears. It was a 3DS one.
I don't remember. So you said you tried all the demos. Did you try the demo for this one?
I tried most of it.
Same.
Like, I saw it with a Squirtle, went into the first dungeon, and I was like, yeah, I remember why I stopped playing these.
Yeah, so I played through a couple of the jobs. There's like 4 or 5 you can do. I played through like 3 or 4, but you know what it is? Like, I think my biggest takeaway here is
I did admire it.
The illustration or the whole thing?
The visuals.
Did you press admire illustration at any point? Oh, okay. But I was going to say, I think my big takeaway from this is that this is still very much the old GBA and DS game, just with an updated skin. So yeah, I guess it is like Link's Awakening. Because like, the thing that really bothered me is movement is still 8-directional and grid-based, which makes controlling it with an actual analog stick kind of funky. Like, it almost feels like you get stuck on areas.
Use the buttons.
I know, and they do have the face buttons, but even then, like, I don't know, it just feels kind of archaic, and I guess old school's a better way of putting it, but it just... Why not do free motion at that point? I understand the grid somewhat is because of the real-time battles, but, like, half the time you're facing the wrong way when you get to them anyway because the grid doesn't make sense. Like, just... I don't know.
I mean, I feel like they could make it free motion whenever there isn't a battle since it becomes a battle.
Yeah,
just,
they don't do that either. Yeah.
Kind of like Mega Man Battle Network, you're kind of running around. And I guess that's just an RPG. But whenever you enter a battle, you go into this grid mode.
Right, and there's some like little features that I don't remember for in the original game, but I'm like, oh, these are nice quality of life improvements if they're new. Someone tell me if they are or not. But, there's now like a button you can do to instantly basically run through a straightaway. So you don't have to actually like go through it. You just press it and you're on the other side.
Dope.
And then, I wouldn't say dope, but it's not bad. And then, like, it is kind of nice if you hold down ZL and the face buttons, you can see all the different attacks and their stats, and you can, switch on the fly which attack you want to do. But, like, yeah, gameplay-wise, it's exactly the same thing that I remember demoing way back when, and that you were kind of saying. Like, it starts with that personality quiz, then you form a rescue team.
Which I honestly find
and then
really
all the
fun,
dungeons are randomly generated.
The whole game isn't that, so...
Yeah. Oh, the personality quiz? Yeah. Oh, yeah. If this was just BuzzFeed the game and it was all about Pokemon, I'm in. But, yeah, and then, you know what's weird, though? Like, I was kind of touched on this before. Like, how... I understand this isn't a parallel to our world, and you're a human that's fallen in there, and, like, the Pokemon are, they have their own little lives. But, like, there's a job board and there's direct mailings to your house. And, again, I just wonder, like, Pokemon have set up a full postal system? Like, they have...
Whoa,
how do they get mail... in need? How do they have Pokemon that are in need of rescue mailing you, telling you they're in need of rescue? Who is picking up the mail from that Pokemon, and why don't they just take them with them at that point? Like, what is?
I mean, like a lot of universes, you're just not supposed to think about it.
I am thinking about it though, and like, it's just bothering me.
You don't know how many times I like try to fall asleep and then just start thinking about the Cars universe. Like, I do not.
Like, can they open their doors? Why do they have doors? Will the brains fall out?
The one thing in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon I actually understand. The one thing I understand in Mystery Dungeon. Why are they designed
like that?
I think they can't. Yeah, because Mater's suit came off in like one of the movies, didn't it?
Yeah, and they had an engine there, but I don't know.
I'm assuming the engine is the brain. This is what keeps me tossing and turning at night.
I think the one thing from Mystery Dungeon I actually understand is it's the one game where, like, if your Pokemon don't eat, they get tired, and then you lose. Like, in normal Pokemon, it's all... Yeah. Like, stamina
in real life,
makes more sense.
if you don't eat...
You get tired and you lose.
Die.
Yeah. So, like, that's the one thing that they add in Mystery Dungeon over normal Pokemon
like,
that I get.
If I attach, like, especially with Toy Story 4, like, at what point do these things become sentient? Like, if I put giant Google Eyes on my door, is my whole door, like, now, like, the sentient thing?
Yes, it is.
Like, I don't know.
And it eats you every time you come and go, essentially, and it spits you out the other side.
Still haven't seen Toy Story 4.
I haven't seen Toy Story 4 either.
I read
it's
the
coming
Wikipedia
soon.
entry.
It's coming soon to Disney Plus.
And having said that, like, Sporky knows it's a sport, but he's still...
excuse you, I think you mean Forky.
Oh, well, yeah, right. They do address that, though.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is he a fork or is he a spork?
He's a spork.
But his name's Fork?
Yeah.
I need to see this movie.
Yeah, like, he's a spork that knows he's a spork and wants to go...
Become a fork?
Yeah, no, he wants to like.
I haven't seen Toy Story 4, but I read the ending on Wikipedia.
Don't you dare!
I legit almost started crying.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I know.
Okay, I'm gonna watch it on Disney Plus.
Don't say
anything more.
The ending is awesome. I actually did tear up when I watched the ending.
Yeah.
But I mean, it doesn't take much to make me tear up in the whatever.
You tear up at like everything, and it's not a negative thing. You're just an emotional person, but like you're in touch with your emotions.
I don't say anything, but I know what I like.
Yes.
I was just gonna say that even though Forky knows he's a spork, he still abides by the toy rule. That he doesn't have to pretend to be a toy whenever Bonnie's around,
right,
but he still does that.
That's what I'm saying about the Pokemon. So they need to be rescued.
The universes fall apart.
They need to be rescued, and a male guy, what's the pelican in Pokemon?
Pelipper?
Yeah. Pelipper shows up, and he's like, well, I could fit you in my giant beak, because you're just a tiny little Caterpie, but what if I take your letter, and you're stuck here for another, like, I don't know, a week, maybe? See ya!
Caterpies are pretty heavy, though.
Are they?
I just pulled that out.
I mean, okay, in that case, he could pick him up with his talons and carry it. If he can't fit it in his mouth, because his jaw will, like, break.
I think he killed a Caterpie, like,
maybe.
Either way.
And actually, that's another point. If Pokemon, like, if it's like an animal kingdom of sorts, wouldn't the bird want to eat the worm? Instead, he's delivering the mail to, like, a salamander and a cat that then go rescue it.
It's like Bruce from Finding Nemo. Like, he knows that he cannot get any sort of temptation.
Well, I think we're supposed to assume it's a Zootopia kind of situation where, like, they've evolved their brains and they coexist with the predators and
that does explain how they're able to mint their own coins.
Can fish bleed?
Yes.
Can they?
How else will sharks find them?
Yeah, that's true, because sharks sense blood. Listen, hey guys, tweet at Ram Nintendo and let us know, can fish bleed? Or alternatively, tweet Kevin directly at KVN Gomez and let him know if fish can bleed. One person who lets us know will be like, thank you. I never thought of that,
but my gut would say yes.
My gut would say yes. Huh. You know who else's gut will say yes? The shark after it eats the fish because it bled and it found it. Anyway, Pokemon. Again, the point is,
sharks eat seals.
Listen, the point is, because this is tangent number 12 now. The point is, if you like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, this one is more of the same, just prettier. So maybe check it out. Huh. So anyway,
give me another topic before I start dwelling too much in this.
Okay, here we go. In keeping with our theme of downloadable things coming soon and things that are super,
they complete.
There you go. So in keeping with our this, I should have known. The second our intro was that thing you did, this episode's gonna go off the rails. But in keeping with our theme of downloadable things that are coming soon, we have one more piece of news to discuss, and that is first actual official details about Super Nintendo World, the theme park. After many months of speculation,
and we can guarantee you this will not be a spoiler in any way.
This will not be a spoiler, but the big thing that they announced is it's getting an app, and that app will hook into these long rumored.
I would have loved to know that the moment I walked into the park.
Well, you would not, because how would you download it?
I gotta download this thing,
and then there wouldn't be service because it's gonna be so crowded because like it's Nintendo World. But yeah, this long. I don't know if you guys remember we talked a while ago that there are these wristbands that are gonna do that. We interact with.
You did mention that.
And thank you. And they're now
would be like a gamification.
Yes, they're now called Power Up Bands. They come in all sorts of different character colors except Waluigi. Sorry, Waluigi. And so they are real. And
I don't know why that brought me joy. So there's something about Waluigi stands that I just. Oh man, you guys are like Sonic fans.
So they're like an orange Bowser one.
I actually don't recall. There might not be a Bowser one. Google it. I'll Google it. Someone Google it.
I guess I'll Google it.
Okay.
I haven't Googled it.
Well, while you Google that, I will go on to explain that these wristbands will let you collect coins around the park on rides and through other interactive elements. And the whole idea is you will be competing with friends to get digital coins, just like you do in Mario, and then something happens. It's a little unclear what, but there's all these different ways of getting coins.
Typing "can fish bleed."
You got the answer, though.
I did.
But yeah, it's actually like the amount of work they're putting into how these coins work and how the wristbands work is actually kind of cool. Because, I mean, there's the park, they're already promising there's going to be rides, there's going to be shops, of course. There's going to be a restaurant, they confirmed. And there's going to be all these interactive elements, which could be as small as, like, there's going to be power-up or question mark blocks that you can make a Mario motion to with your wrist. There's not a Bowser one.
They're just the good guys. There's a red Mario one, Luigi one. They're actually all designed like the Wiimotes. Like, it has, like, overalls and the red. And they all have eyes. Like, they're sentient.
The eyes are where they're oh, God, here we go.
They're like the mountains. Like, the hills have eyes, literally.
I think the eyes are supposed to be where the clasp is, and that's supposed to signify the clasp.
If you think about it hard enough, they will become into toys.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's true. And
so, there's a Peach one. There's a Daisy one, which I guess is the orange one.
Yeah.
So, I guess I'm getting Daisy. And there's
Yoshi and Toad.
Yeah,
and Mario and Luigi.
Lazily enough, Yoshi and Toad have the same design, and everyone else has a unique one, but I guess they're both known for being spotted. I mean, Toad, yes. Yoshi, I don't know.
Yoshi's egg.
Probably get Toads.
Yoshi's egg. Yoshi's icon is always his egg. Look at Smash Bros.
I don't know. I feel his tongue is more iconic, and this is already tongue-shaped, so I don't know.
But you're not going to wrap his tongue around a child's wrist.
Like, make the bottom half red. I don't know.
Anyway.
That sounds like a challenge to me, sir.
Yeah. Anyway, point is, whichever one you wear...
I call Toad.
Okay. You're going to get...
yeah, if you get Toad...
You get a pick. That's the thing. You get a pick. Whichever one you wear... gets to do cool stuff in the park. Like I was starting to say, they're gonna have interactive question mark blocks you can hit to get coins. Like you do the little Mario jump.
Have that float?
They're gonna be on poles and stuff, like on light posts and whatnot. They had one at the
lame.
They had one at the event. And
I would have liked them to discover the technology to make them float.
Maybe they will.
Drones. And just keep somehow. As soon as they're about to like go low on battery, they know to like fly away and go to like another station, and some other ones will come in for like.
Oh yeah, put the wings on them.
Wait, actually, and then you can have Lakitus flying around in the same fashion, and flying and paratroopers and fly guys, which are the flying shy guys. And flying wigglers
are not taking advantage.
We're gonna be so disappointed when we go. Like, it's not even floating.
Yeah, because like honestly. You could. I say honestly a lot. You could have.
It's just a very truthful straight shooter.
Yeah, like you can have like a Lakitu or something, like not an interactable one. Just have it fly over you and just go like from one spot of the park that you can't see that comes out from behind something, and then goes to another spot that you can't see. That way they're always being charged. That way, just like because drones usually last like 5 to 10 minutes.
I think they might do something kind of like that because they're promising a lot of stuff. Like, just get an idea. So, along with
my expectations are already unreasonably high. I know I'm going to be disappointed. So
yeah, maybe they won't do. Maybe they won't do quite that, but they're promising a lot more stuff than I expected.
You're gonna look at some. Oh, that's cool, I guess.
You're gonna be like, I see the reference.
I don't know. Well,
I get what they're
just
going
so you guys
for.
know, like my minimum, like my bar is that they could do whatever they want with the park. I just want to have a Bowser I can take a picture with. That's like a costume of some
just
sort.
go to New York because that's a Nintendo store.
Costume. Character
I'm
of
sure
some
they will. I mean, Bowser's Castle's there.
I know.
Or Fortress, as they're calling it officially.
They went all out with the Transformers, but I feel like a Bowser would be way more manageable. They could do something like the giant Mr. Potato Head.
I'm telling you, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. But the stuff they're doing...
Oh, man, if you're wrong... Are you...
What?
I don't know.
I'll give you $5.
All right.
Okay, shake on it. We have
we're going to be in Japan. It's got to be...
500 yen. Shake on it again.
It's got to be more.
All right.
I'll eat... you can give me any weird thing from a Japanese menu and I'll eat it.
No. I'll think of something.
Well, you have a year plus.
The puffer fish?
I won't do that, actually.
Not
everything. That could kill you.
Our friend would want to do it. He wanted to do it, but...
That's great. I want to die.
You do it with Gilbert.
But I don't want to die.
But you would die with Gilbert.
But I'd rather live. I'd rather live. I mean, life would suck without him, but I'd rather live.
Would you love to say, like... Wouldn't you like someone to say, he died as he lived, being adventurous?
But I wasn't adventurous when I lived. Anyway, the point...
making bets and making irresponsible bets.
Yeah, that's my adventure. No, but what I was going to say is what they are confirming, which aren't drones that are blocks, is there's actual, like, challenges and stuff. So you're going to be able to collect items, like character stamps. Like, if you couldn't tell this thing was inspired by 3D World, like the look of it and everything, they're bringing back the stamps from 3D World, right down to the icon in the app.
Ryan, buy me something from the Mario gift shop at Universal Studios.
Listening to these fascinating details.
No, we're listening.
No, him.
Yeah, they're not here. I was
See? Wait, what am I buying you?
Just something from the Universal Studios Mario gift shop.
Okay.
All right.
Deal. We should shake. This is the third shake. All right, there we go. Anyway, so you can collect fun stamps, and those stamps can give you things, I guess. But
for Miiverse.
Yes, but now without Miiverse. But no, the other cool thing, this is what I'm actually really curious about, is they're doing something called key challenges. Throughout the park, they're going to have these things called key challenges.
Oh.
And if you collect digital keys together, guests can cooperate with other guests. I'm just reading the press release, who also have keys to unlock additional gameplay opportunities, including boss battles against various enemy characters.
So are they gatekeeping some of this stuff? That kind of sucks.
Oh, they're gatekeeping. Well, no, the keys you do just collectively, like you're running around the park doing activities with your friends.
Okay, but is there a chance that... I mean, I guess you always run the risk of not doing everything like at a Disneyland.
Yeah, you just have to commit to what you want to do. If you want to do key challenges, you go do the key challenges. Here's where they're gatekeeping.
My question is, are we going to be able to experience this entire park in one day? Or else we're going to have to do this
It's 2 rides.
The funny thing that it's not even the whole park.
It's only like 2 rides, a store.
Oh, really?
It's only 2 rides, a store, and a restaurant.
I'm about to flip this table.
It's like saying, are we going to be able to do all of Adventureland in one day?
It's not that big yet. They are promising in the future they want to do more, and they're going to expand it beyond Mario, but right now it's 2 rides.
Yeah, when you
I thought this was like on the size of like...
It's the size of Harry Potter. Maybe a little bigger. But it's going to go bigger.
It's okay size.
The next phase is supposedly going to be a Donkey Kong.
I thought you were going to say it was going to be like...
I thought this was going to be like California Adventure. Like
oh,
wow.
No. Not yet. Give it a while. But, no, you mentioned a point about is it going to be gate kept? Sort of. Because here's the catch with all this. It all sounds pretty cool, right? You were going to say something about the keys? What were you going to say?
No, when you
I'm going to let you make your dream statement. I'm
no, it's not really a dream statement. It was just like which is why I went like, oh, and then oh.
Yeah.
Because Disney Seas has kind of a key challenge, but it's a physical, tangible thing. Like, but you're supposed to buy like this wand kind of dealie at the gift shop.
He found the catch.
You have to find this. You have to buy this wand dealie thing at the gift shop, and there are like these like, I don't know, altars all around the park, and you're supposed to like go to each altar and put your key there, and it like activates something, and it does like something. You have to go to each altar to like get them all.
So it's kind of like that, but there's gonna be stuff that comes from your wristband that you just interact with, and then how you do in the game, like the rides will affect your score and stuff and your coin count. But there is the catch: you found it,
and your value as a person,
and your value as a human. Yeah, your self-worth. But here's the catch: the bands cost extra. You do not get a band when you walk into the park. That's why I said you can choose your band. You have to pay for the band.
Oh.
And when you pay for the band, you get to keep it, and presumably
That's
you can use it on separate visits. I completely forgot
about that. I forgot that we're entering Universal Studios and then have to make our way to... I thought kind of like...
So you're paying, let's say...
I thought like, oh, we're going to Mario World, yeah.
So you're paying whatever you're paying, but then when you get to the park, you have to buy the band to do the extra video gamey elements on top of it. Because
I know you wouldn't know, but do you know the Monster Hunter exhibit in Universal Studios?
I have no clue. I would assume it is. But the thing I mostly like is, so if you don't get the band, all you can do is 2 rides and they have no like deeper video gamey aspect. I guarantee when they eventually hook into my Nintendo account,
so much for
this.
The best experience.
Have they priced out the bands?
They have not said the price. And not only that, here's the other thing. They're not going to be too high because that defeats the whole purpose of the park. And if people don't want to pay, they're not going to do it. That's number one. Number two, they're nice, like, plastic wristbands. They're going to be reusable, I imagine. I can't see them being like, well, you have the March 2021 band. You need the June 2021 band now.
But in our case, how reusable are they?
You could probably use them in Hollywood. I would imagine they'd work across the different parks. It's just NFC tech in a band. Like, you really think they're going to lock it in based on which park? I mean, maybe.
I mean, companies have done worse.
And also, not to be too much of a downer on this, but, like... Or to try and reel you back from that. Like, they might only be like $10 or $5. It's just... Really?
$10 isn't too bad.
I mean, you didn't want $5 free in the bet a minute ago. Now you're wincing that you might have to spend $5 on
I think I'd probably draw... Oh, man.
But it's
20, no. I mean, I would have done it anyway because
we're doing it anyway.
I don't know. I'll think about it.
I can't see... How much were the wands at Seven Seas that you're talking about?
Like, I think around 30.
Really?
Well, because they were like this big, like...
Oh, but this is...
It was a toy. It was like you were buying a toy.
This is different, because this is the central theme of the park.
Even if you're not in the park, it was still like a standalone, like, you know, like something you get for your kid.
This is a central part of the park. I can't imagine them charging too much.
I think 40 is where I draw the line.
I think they would probably charge... They're going to charge under 20 is my guess.
Around 20?
Under.
Under 20.
I think, realistically, I would be surprised if it's 10 to 15. That's just my guess. And like...
If they're under $15, there's no way that we're going to be able to use these in Hollywood.
Maybe. But even then, well, $15. No, well, then fine. But they're only $15.
Yeah, I guess.
And the thing is, like, they're pumping so much money into this, into all the interactions and all the everything. Apparently, this park is costing them $500 million to make, which is more than they've ever spent on any park ever. And the interactive stuff and the future rides. There's a Donkey Kong minecart coming down the pipe at some point. And you know that music video they made was not cheap. They had to hire Galantis, which is like one of the biggest EDM acts. They had to hire Charlie XCX, who about once every 3 years has a big hit.
A ton of acid to
they had to take like, so much acid.
Previs
they had to hire actors in America and Japan. I mean, there's a scene shot here in Hollywood, and then they work pipe to the park.
Whoa!
And they had to like put Charlie XCX on a CG flagpole and have Toad and like ogle at her.
That's
like this all costs money.
Elon Musk, right?
What do you mean that's
Charlie? That's the one with.
That's Grimes. That's Grimes.
They're all the same to me.
Charlie XCX is Boom Clap Girl. Charlie XCX is one year...
Oh, Boom Clap. I don't know what Boom Clap Girl is.
I know the song Boom Clap. Charlie XCX is the one who, after one of the Game Awards, McDonald's hosted the after party, and I somehow talked my way in. And then Jerry O'Connell, the random like B-list actor, is serving Big Macs to people.
Jerry O'Connell?
Yeah.
Robin from... Batman and Robin?
Is he?
I'm pretty sure that's
Jerry O'Connell. I just know he's a side character on that old crime show Crossing Jordan.
But anyway, sidekick. Yeah,
side character is what I said. But no, so all I know is I got a free Big Mac from him, and then I walk around.
Oh man,
and,
I couldn't be any more wrong.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And then like a McDonald's person gets on stage and goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, Charlie XCX," and she comes out and does like 2 songs, and it's like, "Have a good night. I love video games," and left. Is the weirdest thing. So anyway, she's in the video. But yeah, that video is something else, isn't it?
Well, I'm trying to find. Sorry, I'm trying to find.
But it's like, yeah, I mean, it is cool that
Chris
like
O'Donnell.
Oh, yeah, he's different.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is kind of cool that like they confirm a couple rumors in the video. There's a split-second shot of the Mario Kart people on the Mario Kart ride, and they are wearing what looks like AR goggles. So there's that rumor kind of confirmed. But also, it's just a weird dance party where people dab for no reason. And I really hope I don't have to dab in the park.
There is not a single frame of the actual like.
No, the end has they zoom out for the last second or two. That's good. Do I have to verbally describe a meme?
Sure.
So you guys know how like when we were talking about that no one liked Byleth being in Smash, but like the more creative ones are the Mii fighters, right? Everyone at home not in agreement. Well, someone has a photo of a press conference where it's Byleth and Cuphead photoshopped to be sitting next to each other, and all the microphones are on Cuphead, and Byleth is sitting there looking sad. And that is this episode's edition of Jason verbalizes a meme.
Oh, this is not going to become a recurring segment, so do not get used to it.
But anyway, if we're going to talk about weird things on the internet, could we please like dive into this video a bit more? It's so bizarre to me. Like, why? They showed a second of the park at the end. They zoom out and you can see the whole overview of the park.
Of under construction?
No, like a render of what it will look like.
Well, yeah, this entire thing is technically a render.
Well, some of it's not very realistic. I mean, you're not going to be like running on top of blocks. You're definitely not going to be an astronaut sent through a warp pipe who loses his Switch in the process. Where did his Switch go? He doesn't have
in space.
Oh, I get. But he took it with him. They show it going in before him.
Did it?
I think.
Oh, that Switch is going to come out of a pipe and hit some kid.
I know. And then like Universal gets sued, and Troy XCX and Toad are just up on their flagpole laughing and enjoying it. It's weird. It's a weird video, but like that's a lot of money they put into that video.
Yeah, but like what I meant by like they don't actually show you the park.
No, it's a hype video.
They're showing you, like
they spent more time hiring Galantis, who's again a huge EDM act. Like that's a big get, and Troy XCX to do a song. And to be fair,
is that an original song?
It's an original song they made. And to be fair, they do remix in the Mario theme. And it's a little cringy, but I gotta give them credit. They also mixed in the Mario World theme, which is like a notch deeper that they probably didn't need to do, but they did, and it just made it feel a little more authentic in a way. But
well, it's 3D World theme, so
but Mario was the Mario World theme in 3D World the game? I don't remember. Maybe.
I don't remember.
Either way, they did 2 Mario songs, so props to them. And the lyrics have like just enough Mario-esque references that it works, like power up and level up and super and I'm on shrooms and maybe not that one. But yeah, it was a strange video. But if you haven't seen it, anyone listening, it is well worth 2 minutes and 45 seconds of your time to just know what Nintendo is like if you were heavily on drugs.
I mean, if you take anything out of this podcast today,
it's that.
To watch that.
It's really to... Yeah. But anyway, so that's Super Nintendo World. I think the potential of it's kind of cool. I think you are going to be disappointed because you're overhyping it in your head.
I think I'm going to be... I honestly thought that this was going to be on the size and scale of California.
Well, like I said, I'm just...
And now you're not going
to want the Bowser.
No,
I'll be happy with anything.
Now I feel like this is more on par of like a Galaxy's Edge.
This Galaxy's Edge sides, which I still need to go to. But,
If it's going to be the thing where, like, Jason and I will still, like, be, like, ogling some Nintendo stuff, and then the rest of the group will be like, can we, like, go to a different section?
Dude, we're going to be nerding out so hard. So hard.
And then we'll just
are we?
I am.
We'll leave
actually,
Jason there.
Probably. I don't know. Actually.
Yeah. I can already imagine your sister being. All right, let's go.
Yeah. No, because like I have gone to Nintendo World in New York or now Nintendo NY, and would like. No. I have gone there and just been there for like an hour, and I don't actually do anything. Like I'll shop a little, but I'm mostly just like looking around. Like I don't play in the demo units. I'm just like, oh, look at this. Or like, oh, look at this.
For an hour? That's like being at the M&M store for an hour.
That's my point. So I will live at Nintendo World for that trip. That's what I'm saying. Like you don't I will be like, look how these Yoshis. And remember, they have those little augmented reality. The rumor is those augmented reality spots where you can go see the park in a whole different way if you stay in certain places. Oh, this is what
those AR cards were really getting us ready for.
Yeah, I was all preparing for this.
Yeah, because they knew in 2011. I have Toon Link and Pikmin and Kirby in my room.
Well, remember, Nintendo never gives up on an idea. So there you go. Yeah. To that point,
Virtual Boy disagrees.
Became the 3DS.
No, not even remotely close.
Yes, the idea of 3D depth-based gameplay, yeah. I'm equating. They both were like, what if you do things into the screen? Yeah.
You do
not no, I'm taking it.
Game & Watch 3D.
No, but honestly, like, even on a small scale, here's a silly example.
We're debating this after the show.
Here's a silly example.
Save it for the next
episode. The marketing campaign with this music video was "We Are Mario" and everyone's becoming Mario. They did that 18 years ago with the "Who Are You" campaign. In fact, they're answering their own question: "Who are you? Yeah. We are Mario." So there you go.
You talked about this last episode.
I did not. I tweeted about it, and you saw the tweet.
No,
the video only came out after the last episode. I'm just that ingrained in your life, whether you like it or not.
You definitely talked about it in the last episode.
Who Are You and We Are Mario?
No. You talked about the Who Are You campaign because we were talking about...
but in a different way.
Reggie.
Yeah, so the very first Who Are You commercial ends with a bunch of people with Mario faces looking at a guy.
No, we're just saying that you talked about the Who Are You
campaign. Oh, yeah. But now, 18 years later, they have the We Are Mario. And it's like the answer.
Jason never gives up on an idea.
I never give up. Neither does Nintendo. We are in sync.
Never going to give you up, yeah.
Yes, Rick Ashley. Anyway... so that's the news. And plenty of tangents, grand old time. But we've also been playing things. Angel, I've been talking a lot. Would you like to go first with what you've been playing?
Dude, I mean, keep the ball rolling, man. Like,
you want me to go first?
Keep that momentum, dude. Like, you're getting me hyped. What are you going to talk about?
Okay. So I'm going to talk about EarthNight.
All right, I'll talk about Mario Kart 8.
All right. So, the pretext here is there's a tournament going on.
I mean, I thought you were done talking.
I'm done now.
All right, so... I haven't really been playing any new games because I've just been just playing a lot of Mario Kart 8.
Good drink every time he says honestly.
Yeah, in anticipation of the tournament that's going on this weekend. So it's not like the other open tournaments where you have like a qualifier round and then like a final 32 elimination round. It's just on Friday from 12 to 6 p.m. Pacific time, you can race a maximum of 24 races. Top 8 players with the maximum number of points get a $25 gift card, and they will do this every day until Sunday. So
basically, if you're listening to this after
it's already too
late, unless you're listening the second this goes up at like 3 a.m. Sunday morning.
And fun idea. I'm like, hey, I'm pretty good at Mario Kart, even with its crazy randomness. I can consistently place like first or second almost every time, even like with all the stuff that drives me crazy. And I played. Well, I got back from work and I was only able to play for the last hour, and I managed to get 18 races in, and my total score at the end was like 180. And as soon as I looked at the standings, I was like, well, I know I'm not gonna win, but I saw that the highest score was like 340 something, which averages out to like 14 points per race, which means that they placed first or second every single race. And right away I realized, like, oh, okay, well, that's already problem number one with the tournament, which is really unfortunate, is that they don't take into account that when I was racing, because it was the last hour, I rarely had all 12 the maximum number of players available. And
do you want to account for this?
No.
Oof.
Which sucks, because most of my races had like 6 to 8 people. Mm-hmm. So even when I was getting first place back to back to back, I was still only getting like 8 points per race. So
that is such a weird oversight.
Huh. So they don't curve the points, which means that even if in theory I get first place every single time, I will still lose by a ton because I'm not getting the same value as other racers because they didn't have full races.
Now, theoretically, once the tournament actually kicks off, because we were talking about this before it kicked off.
Well, I mean,
are they gonna?
No, they kick off. I already.
That's right.
Yeah, I already went through a round of it. So I'm literally talking about like what happened.
Oh, like that's horrible.
The best thing they could do is
not horrible. That's a strong word.
The best thing they could do is like there is an option to fill in empty gaps with NPCs, so they should just do that and just leave them on normal. That way, the point values aren't messed up. And either that or I don't know, because I feel that's the only thing they could do. Because then it just sucks. That just means that if you're coming in late, you're already just not going to win.
If I'm not mistaken,
but technically, if you have only 5 or 7,
unless they find a way to scale the points out,
it's kind of easier.
Yeah, it should be helping, not hurting.
No, but
because they count it based on the number of loaders.
No, absolutely. But I guess I kind of see why they went that route, because it's like
Oh no, but
I got into a 6-player match. This is an easy 15 points. Like,
if they curve it, then it's actually putting too much advantage.
Well, no matter what, it sucks then because it's not like
this isn't a win-win scenario.
Yeah,
no, not at all.
Because there's nothing I can really do about it. Like I'm stuck in that race. I can't
unless they
back
did
out.
that CPU.
Option. Because the thing is like it wouldn't be a big deal if you can like wait for more players. But the thing is also like when you're down to the last hour. You can't really afford to wait for more players because it's also just taking forever.
Right. I wonder if they thought there'd be more players.
And also, like, you can't really back out of it. Like, once you're in a group, you're like, oh, I guess this is my group, and I guess I'm just not going to get a lot of points this round. Like, oh, well.
I mean, it is the very first... If I'm not mistaken, I think this is the very first time they've done a Mario Kart Open.
That's something that could easily be... I mean, these are all, like, options that are in there.
Yeah.
That's actually probably the most reasonable criticism I have of it. It was actually pretty...
So what's the least reasonable?
Yeah,
what's the unreasonable one?
I mean, it's just something that just like that's just been a problem with Mario Kart since Mario Kart 7.
Remember to censor yourself. We are a family-friendly podcast, relatively.
The mother... Okay. The mother loving coins. Oh my gosh, those coins are infuriating. Like, they're fine on the track, but don't make them an item that you can get. It's like the worst possible thing. Even when
Nintendo World's got to redo their whole strategy with those wristbands.
Like, literally, just don't make them a gettable item. I can't tell you how many times I was in second or third place, or even first place, and I would just, like, get a single item, just a coin. There were at least, like, 5 or 6 races. No, way more than that. There were at least, like, 10 races, mainly because I was, like, in first or second the whole time.
Sure.
Where I would literally never get anything but coins and my item boxes. I was just completely vulnerable the whole time. Like, red shell after red shell, blue shell after blue, and I just keep getting coins. It's so annoying. Just don't let me get coins. It feels like it creates, like, a negative... I don't know. It just doesn't feel good to get a coin. Like, even if you get a banana, like... I mean, a banana or a shell or literally anything is just really nice in Mario Kart because you can just hold it behind you, and they have some value. Coins
technically have value.
You get so many. It's so easy to get coins like throughout the track.
A banana peel, like you're not.
if you go to a store and you get a banana peel versus a coin.
Yeah, we're talking about Mario Kart, so
listen, they get you to your top speed.
Yeah, but it's so easy to get to your top speed just by getting the coins that are scattered across the track anyway.
This is true.
So it's so redundant. It just feels like, I mean, it feels like they're put there intentionally to make it easier for the people in the back to catch up so that the person doesn't get enough item. But in that case, only like make them available to someone that's in first place. I get that. That's fine. The only thing that bothers me is when I get them when I'm like in second, third, and fourth. When I need anything like
when it's Mad Max and
the
last thing that you need to coin.
There were a few races where like someone was literally right in front of me, and I'm like, all right, I just need a green shell, like literally anything.
Yeah.
And I just get a coin, and they were right in front of me, and they get a green shell and just hit me from in front. And I'm like, really, game? Like, really?
I think you said more words than really.
Really? Oh, of course I did. Actually, no. Yeah. It was just one vocal yell, but yeah.
A yell or like a yelp? Or just like a guttural primal scream?
I don't know, somewhere in between. Okay. Like, I don't know if it's audible, like if my voice sounds a little different, but like, I'm still like kind of recovering from like how many times like I've like audibly yelled at the game because of the coin. I've gotten over the whole like getting Mario Kart like blah blah blah, but yeah, the coin is just like yeah. And
oh, is that noise? That's what
it was way
worse.
Yeah, like if you were like right outside the garage, you'd probably think someone was like dying or about to get killed.
Wow. Yeah, I think like I like to think that like Nintendo's been doing these open online tournaments a lot with a lot of the Switch games now, and like Smash over time, I imagine they must have improved. Splatoon, they probably did. That's a lot because they did none before, and now they're doing Mario Kart. So my point is, I'm hoping they learn from this and they listen to this.
Yeah, honestly, I
don't know who from Nintendo's listening.
I mean, the coin. I mean, you just deal with it. I mean, it's annoying. You just deal with it.
But like but
I feel like add bots or something.
Yeah, I agree.
Or make the bots hard if you feel like the people are going to be, or the bots. I mean. Yeah, the people are going to be way too difficult compared to the bots,
right.
But I mean...
But even that's no win.
No
win
but
situation.
I felt like the average... I mean, obviously I did... On the races I did play, on average I did way better than I normally do when I just played normally online, because they rank you with your own ranking. Mm-hmm. Right now I'm just like playing against anybody that's here, so...
What speed was it?
It was 150.
Okay.
So that means...
my speed.
Which means I never have to
play. It's 200, and
it's the worst.
I cannot. Deal
it's
with
too fast. If I wanted
200.
to play 200, I'd play F-Zero.
No, yeah, but I mean, if we played 150, like that's where like I said, like every race I did, I was either mostly first, a few times second. And even when I was in first, I would still get blue shot and red shot, and it wouldn't do anything because I was like that far ahead. Just because in 150, like, yeah, all of a sudden I spent so much time just like learning like every tiny little bump where you could get
learning
a
the meta.
Yeah,
the meta
like,
in Mario Kart.
Like literally, when
I hate it so much. I hate playing with him so much.
Like literally, like when I drift on any curve, I'm like touching like to the pixel, like how close I can get without like.
I mean, really, is it that crazy that there's a meta in Mario Kart, like snaking in DS? That was the meta, and everyone did that.
I feel like snaking was more of an exploit.
It was, but it became the meta.
Well, I mean, the funny thing is that I don't even consider it a meta. I think it's just.
I'm talking about like once when we were playing.
It's just being good.
And he was talking about the meta.
When we were playing, it was me, him, and Elvis. And Elvis asked him, "Oh, what is it that you want in 200? Oh, you definitely want speed." I'm like, my combo is Rosalina on a bike.
Yeah.
Right? And like...
Yeah. No. In 200, you want acceleration.
I play a speed character. They play like, oh no, you want acceleration. No, how about you...
It's Mario Kart. It's Mario Kart. You want fun.
And then he plays it, and then like he launches off and it's like, oh, I guess I'm going to hit every wall now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you adapt. I used to...
My point being there shouldn't be a meta Mario Kart.
You just adapt.
I understand Kevin, Smash to a degree.
Have you heard about the meta in Mario Party minigames?
There's a meta in Smash Brothers too.
There's not.
Okay, I was like,
well, obviously there's a meta in Smash.
Technically, there is a meta in Mario Party.
There kind of is.
You want to be first player, especially in Mario Party 2.
Yeah, the best Mario Party. Every time you keep brought up the same way you always shout out.
It's 4.
Okay, I love Mario Party 2, but it is by far not the best.
Well, one day we'll have a Mario Party debate.
It's definitely like I would
upper
say
echelon.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Like obviously
like 9 and 10. On that. Let's agree on that.
In theming, it's like up there.
Yeah. Yes.
As a Mario Party game, it's definitely not up there.
It's upper echelon. I think you're knocking it too hard. I think before we get too deep into this, we should.
You're a Mario Party 3 guy, huh?
3's worse than 2 for sure.
I like no. I like the theming in 2 more. I just like the mini games in 3 more. Because I love the dual mini games. I just love like the chicken thingies, the chicken chase, and just a bunch of the mini games.
Okay, let's keep.
So anyway, EarthNight.
Yes, EarthNight.
So unless you had any other Mario Kart thoughts, but
no.
I think you exhausted the topic because the cars have. So EarthNight.
All right, we get a move on.
Yeah, okay. Yes, we. Yeah. That one was not great.
I did not like that one.
Like, ease off the gas on puns like that. No. See, that was a little better. Anyway, EarthNight. Wow, no. Crickets. So, yeah, EarthNight's a game that I've sort of had my eye on since E3. Like, we were browsing the indie area at the time and discovered that there's this game, EarthNight, that one guy spent like 7 years hand painting the art for, and then we started playing it. It has this cool concept of like a living level select. That's what we really highlighted when we talked about back at E3. Like instead of picking a level, you're skydiving onto the backs of dragons, and that process is the level picker. So it's actually like a gameplay element. And the further you go down, the more difficult the level. And it was all very cool. We didn't really know much beyond that. It was some sort of runner. So now, fast forward to the game's release, and the folks behind the game were kind enough to hit us up with a copy and let's see what else the game is about. And it's a pretty fun, pretty cool hybrid of like a runner and a roguelike, which are not things you necessarily think would go hand in hand, but it's just really well done all around. So the basic premise here is that dragons have taken over. There's a dragon apocalypse, and as one of 2 characters, either Stanley or Sydney, you need to work your way back down to Earth from a space station to stop the dragons, one dragon at a time. And you do this through that living level select screen, and you land on the back of different dragons, and then the game switches over to being a runner. Only it's a runner where once you're dead, that's it. You've got to start the whole dragon stopping quest all over again. The game does offer some bridges between the attempts, namely in the form of items and power-ups that you earn as you defeat each dragon. And defeating a dragon requires basically running through the whole procedurally generated level, which is the dragon's back, reaching the dragon's head, and then stabbing the dragon with your sword. And
it's got more violent than I thought it was going to get.
It gets a little.
It looks very like cartoony.
Yeah, and then you're like stabbing a dragon in the head. And the funny thing is, yeah, he's watching footage. They're both watching footage.
The character gives me like a braid.
Yeah, a little. But the funny thing about the stabbing the dragon in the head is a timer kicks in when you do that. The way you stab it actually is varied. It's not always like you're just hammering the A button. Okay. Like sometimes if you wait and press the button with a certain rhythm.
Not as violent as I thought it was going to get.
No, it's not super violent. It's just conceptually violent.
Yeah.
But But yeah, it's cool. And then like depending on how you hit the button, like there's different lengths of stabbings you can do, and you need to figure out the right rhythm within the time. And I feel like you guys just keep it up now.
Where we're dropping, boys.
It looks really
no, but the living level thing's really cool. That's the drop as you're describing it. And either way, once you however you kill the dragon, once you succeed, you get items, and these items then help you earn new power-ups and new abilities, and that ranges from new swords for like Stanley to different abilities for Sydney, who's the other playable character. And like just to be abundantly clear, those items are like crucial. They really help a lot because the majority of the gameplay with EarthNight is like when you're actually on the dragon's back. That's when you're in a procedurally generated auto runner where the chunks of the level are stitched together. So the chunks are kind of pre-made, but how they're mixed and matched is kind of random. So it's not like Bit Trip Runner or anything like that where you memorize a pattern and then you execute it. It's more reflex-based, maybe like a super enhanced Robot Unicorn attack or something like that.
That's immediately what I thought.
And what kind of keeps it interesting, though, is you have many more moves to do than Robot Unicorn. Like, you jump, but there's also equally important is hitting down on the control stick to know when to fall back down real quick to bounce off enemies and whatnot. And then there's also a regular jump and a long jump, and Sydney in particular, one of the two characters, she has different dashes you can do, so there's actually a whole bunch of different moves. And you're basically juggling all these quick reflexes set to some snazzy chiptune music and kind of making your way through over and over, die, repeat. And at first...
Live, die, repeat?
Yeah, it's Edge of Tomorrow. But at first, it can be, or maybe I'm just bad at this, but it can be kind of difficult right off the bat. Like, to find the rhythm of the game is kind of like, I ran into enemies a lot, I died a lot. And like anytime you hit an enemy, you're taking damage, and you only have that one health bar for the entirety of the game. So if you die, you have to restart, and you die and you restart.
Yikes.
You like no matter how far down the atmosphere you go, because as you progress down the atmosphere, it gets more difficult. Once you're dead, and you have to go all the way back up. But the more you play, and as you start to kind of get the sense of the physics and unlock the different items, and those, like I was saying, carry over, you kind of find a bit of a groove. And like there's items like Stanley's sword that now when you're jumping, once you get that item, which is pretty early in the game, it can actually auto-swipe at the enemies above you and basically give you clearance when you jump. So there's like ways that the game helps you have a bit more of a fighting chance and you get through it. And that's when I found it actually to be particularly fun is once you kind of like get the tools that give you the rhythm you need to really get through it, then it gets really fun. And it also just looks really cool. Like the hand-painted art looks nice, and the enemy designs kind of has like this weirdness to it, but it's kind of cool. The main characters, like you guys were saying, look a little like Braid. And there's just like really good attention to detail. The animation's really smooth for the most part. If there's a lot of enemies on screen and a lot of items on screen, like coins to collect, there's definitely some frame rate slowdown. But for the most part, and that's in handheld mode. I didn't try on the TV. I was just curled up on the couch with this. But for the most part, like it runs pretty smooth. They do a really nice attention to detail. Like each go round when you start, like Stanley and Sydney on their level select screens are like doing different things in the space station. Like they're reading a book, or they're sleeping, or they're drinking Coca, or like all this random stuff. And then like even as you collect items and go to the shop to get them turned into power-ups, there's a shelf you can pan to that's just the basically worthless items. So like you got an avocado, and there's just all like every item has a funny little like one-liner description. So like they really kind of like thought through beyond just the fact that you're
avocado, like disgusting.
I don't think it said disgust. Do you not like avocado? Do you like guac? Like if they add stuff on top of the avocado?
Maybe.
It depends on the guac.
It depends.
Yeah.
You know what guac is delicious? The guac from that taco place.
The one we always eat after we record?
No. In downtown LA.
Tacos 1984?
Yes.
Or
1983?
4. Maybe 3.
I'm going to fight you on this.
It might be 3.
That place has awesome guac.
It does. Continue. It does. They have awesome food, Gerald. So yeah, the only other thing with EarthNight that's left is I think if I had to say if there's like one issue with the game I had, it kind of goes back to the fact that it's procedurally generated. Because like obviously the idea of having procedurally generated matches the structure of a roguelike, and it arguably is required for that to work. But you can't always be prepared for what's coming next in the level. Like there's no pattern memorized, which makes some sense, except you can't always see what's coming up in the level. Because if you're way up high and the enemies are all off screen below you, how do you know where to land? Because you can't see the enemy. Or vice versa. If you're below and they're above, how do you know if you're going to bonk into them? So as you get power-ups, you kind of negate some of those. But especially early on, like there is definitely parts where it's just like, well, I didn't know what to do because I couldn't see it till I was already on top of it. And some of that's learning the rhythm. That was my point. Like knowing when to fall down quickly, knowing when to jump. But there's definitely occasions where it's just like, oh, I feel like the game kind of screwed me over. But you do get a lot of hits before you die, so it gives you a slight fighting chance. Overall, though, like ignoring that, I do think it's more pros than cons. What was it, 1986? Yeah. But yeah, so overall, EarthNight's a lot of fun. I really like it. And if you get really good, it's quick to beat. Like, apparently it's under an hour if you've had a perfect run. I have not gotten that far, to be fair.
You will never get that far.
But you're probably right. But it's more... Like, it's more about, obviously, any roguelike. It's more about going through the motions repeatedly and that. And it's nice to look at while you do it. Like, the art alone, honestly, knowing that this guy made, like... Apparently it's only like 1,000 individual pieces to stitch this thing together or something like that. Like, that alone makes it worth $15.
Yeah, that's
really
impressive.
But yeah, even not knowing that, like, there's a good enough time here where I feel like you're not going to feel like you overpaid if you buy this at $15. And it's a lot of fun. It's a little different than most runners because of that roguelike element. So I would recommend checking it out for everyone who needs, like, something kind of... You know, you could play for a few minutes, play for a few hours, whatever. So yeah, that is EarthNight.
And that
is this episode of the Random Nintendo Podcast.
Wow, way to steal my thunder.
I thought you looked at me and closed your mouth. I didn't know if you were going to keep going.
You're sitting across from me. Like, 90% of the time I'm looking at you.
No, but your mouth's shut. As if
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, Kevin's off to the side strategically. But
right, well.
Next episode, do you want to talk about next episode? Do you even know what's in next episode?
Next episode will be whatever news Nintendo announces in the next few weeks.
And you know what one of those things will be? They have... Here comes Jason's sales corner. They have... Wait,
what?
No.
Didn't we just have one?
They have their financials, their first financials of 2020 coming out 2 days before our episode, 3 days before our episode. And here's the thing about that. The numbers will be what they'll be. We'll get to know the real, like, how was Switch in 2019. The answer is it did great. But this is the financial briefing where in the past they've announced new hardware. This is where they announced the Illumination Mario movie.
Okay,
this is where they announced Super Nintendo World.
Piqued my curiosity.
The January one is kind of like setting the tone for the year in a lot of ways. So there is a chance that when we all regroup together with this next episode on February 2nd, which is Groundhog's Day, that there actually be some real news. And if there's not news, you can at least look forward to maybe Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
Yes,
yeah, you'll have
absolutely.
impressions.
Yeah.
Which is fitting that the Encore game where you go back and play the same game that was on Wii U, we will be talking about on Groundhog Day. So it's kind of like a weird little connection there.
Sure.
Barely. So to make sure you don't miss it, and the puns and the tangents and me trying to connect things that aren't connectable, you can follow us on Twitter at Random Nintendo. You can subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, TuneIn, Pandora, YouTube, our channel's RandomNintendo.com. And I'm forgetting any services? Probably.
You could also listen to us at randomnintendo.com.
This is true. I never say that. We are available at RandomNintendo.com.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. And you can see...
Do you ever say YouTube?
I do. I just said it 10 seconds ago.
Oh.
But our YouTube channel is RandomNintendo.com. So there you go again. And you can follow us individually. I'm JSR7. Wero is Angel. That's W-E. I said that backwards. It's WEIRO_O is his name. And Kevin, we already shouted out his Twitter earlier. Tell him that fish bleed. It's KVN Gomez on Twitter. So yeah, that
sounds like a Twitter handle. Do fish bleed?
Yeah. It sounds like a line from Batman vs Superman. Do you bleed? Isn't that the line?
Yeah.
But anyway, as always, Kevin, you have the final word.
Let me at them pretzels, boy.